Totes Recall.
Ooh, welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we don't remember very well, or maybe have never seen. Then we watch the movie, and we eat pizza and salad. Thank you, patrons. And 2 of each of those, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
2 pizzas. 2
salads.
How many?
1 movie.
Okay.
Oh, I like this new catchphrase. The catchphrase, tagline.
4 brains.
4 brains.
One memory.
Can't lose. 1 mic.
4 brains, 1 mic, 2 pizzas, 2 salads, 1 movie, 1 podcast.
4 beverages.
4. I mean, sometimes more.
Right.
What if you double up?
Currently.
4. No,
Peek
3
behind the
beverages.
curtain.
4 beverages.
4 beverages.
Oh, Molly has 2. Interesting.
Oh, must be nice.
Uh-huh. Wow, hot and cold beverage at the same time. Keeping those pipes nice and moist.
Some of us don't even have any beverages.
That's because some of us refused the host's offer of a beverage.
Yeah, tweet at us if
Or
you
just
guess
wasn't listening.
who has no beverage. Hashtag who dat no bev. My name is Dan.
I'm Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie in celebration of 1 year ago, we watched a movie called Freaky Friday.
Oh,
Which
was the worst movie
for
ever
some
made.
of us is the worst movie we've ever done.
Which is astounding.
And that person thought the movie we were going to watch
Yes.
was Parent Trap. So now we are going to watch Parent Trap today.
As an olive branch that we didn't know we needed to offer.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go back and listen to that episode, if you haven't heard it, one of us did describe the plot to this movie. And which one of us responded, wait, do you think this is the Parent Trap?
Yeah.
But in this case, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's the movie we're watching. I've never seen it.
I've also never seen it.
Oh, no.
Oh, you missed out.
I think. I'm pretty sure I've never seen it.
Have you seen the older version of it?
I've
We're
seen
watching
neither.
the new version of
With
it, which
Lola
came out in
Lohan.
the year of 2000.
Whoa.
Nope.
19.
I mean, how old is Lindsay Lohan now?
Now? Like
She's like 28?
20, sure.
She's
30.
probably
She's-
in her 30s.
30?
She's at least a 35.
She's probably 35.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No.
Just
No.
like us.
Not, oh, right.
Oh, I see.
Um,
We're just
Yeah, it's just like 10 in that
obfuscated
movie,
reality.
right? So that was like, I don't want to do math on the podcast.
I'm going to say
Don't.
1998.
Great.
I'm going to say 2000.
I'm going to say 1996.
I'm going to say 99 because it thrills me to think this might have been made the same year as The Matrix.
And Office Space.
Yes.
Great.
The year when all great movies were made.
Just like this movie, I assume.
Yeah.
La Lohan.
La Lohan.
Camera tricks to create 2 La Lohans.
She's, okay, she's 2 people in this.
Right? Isn't that like the whole premise of The Parent Trap, no matter who's playing it?
I mean,
Is this like
In
a
a
Prince
way.
and the Pauper sitch? Wait.
wait, what is the plot of this movie?
Go.
La Lohan is a child.
Uh-huh.
Great.
2 childs.
Nailed it.
Now you know which one of us is in one of the no-bevs.
Oh, it is 2 childs. She is not twins, but
Oh.
looks the same.
Oh.
And is trying to get parents to fall back in love. We'll say fall back in love. A heterosexual couple, presumably,
Yeah.
that were once married, then
What
got
class?
divorced.
What class do you think they're in?
One's upper and one's lower.
Oh.
I assume there was divorce because Molly likes this movie.
Zingers.
And like there's hijinks,
Sure, that's probably hijinks.
and at the end, I don't know, they do get back together.
It's your Dan's bet?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you claim you haven't seen this movie.
I mean,
I mean, I know about this. I know about the general concept of this movie, however many versions there may be at this point.
yeah, it's like a trick. They're trying to trick them into getting back together. That's why it's a trap.
They're like trapping their parents into
Love?
love, maybe.
Yeah.
So La Lohan plays 2 little girls who don't understand consent
Right.
or,
Oh.
that maybe sometimes couples just shouldn't be together anymore,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe they just don't understand
Yeah.
that ultimately it was for the best.
Like,
That
it could
these-
be a healthy choice.
like if anything, they might find that as they get older, like, wow, these two don't get along at all.
Yeah.
They barely even relate to each other. It was the correct choice for them to separate. But I guess she's only like a dumb 10-year-old or whatever.
Yeah, but maybe smarter than her parents.
Yeah, if
or
she can
the
trap
adults
them into
into parenthood. Well, they're already parents.
right.
Trap them into matrimony.
So I think how these movies usually go is like the mom has one and the dad has the other,
Yeah.
right? Like,
That's
Do you think
a
there's-
good guess.
yeah,
Do you think they're sisters?
I do think they're sisters.
Okay.
Would you go so far as to say they are identical?
I mean, if they're sisters, they're twins, because she's the same.
Yeah, it's the same person.
Yeah.
That's bet. They're twins.
All right.
Great.
Jaquette's bet Beth has seen this movie.
Different than the identical cousins.
What?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Patty Duke show. She played identical cousins.
Oh, or Twin
Oh.
Peaks.
How does that relate to this?
But why are they identical
Because-
cousins?
Wasn't Patty Duke also in the no? Who was in the original Parent Trap?
That girl.
Oh, okay.
She's like that little
Oh.
blonde girl
Cool.
that was in a lot of movies at the time.
Oh.
Something
But
about
not
angels.
Shirley Temple.
Not.
What is her name? I'll never pull her
Jodie
name.
Foster.
Jodie Foster.
Older than that.
Helen Hunt.
Huh. I will never pull her name. She's older than that.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, she was in the one that's like nothing good about angels or something.
That's a movie?
That's not what it's
Oh,
called.
I hope it is.
I hope that's a movie. Say, there's nothing good about angels, do you hear?
Those angels been moving into town. There's nothing good about angels.
Hey,
moving
I'm
into
the
town.
town drunk, and I'm gonna shout at this angel, and I'm only in this one scene. Ooh, but I'm very physically comical. Now there's a wipe, and we go to the next scene, and you'll never see me again.
But then the little girl steps into traffic and an angel swoops by and
Yeah.
saves the kid.
Haley something.
Joe Osment.
Oh, Haley Joel Osment's in this. Great.
Yeah.
Or in the original.
Haley's comic.
Miracle on 34th? No, that's
She
way
might be
too
in
old.
that.
That's
I
way
mean,
too old.
it's a black and white movie, the
Ooh.
original.
That's old.
Aren't there like 3 versions of this movie? At least?
I think they're just 2
Oh,
that I know of. There might be more.
all right.
But I mean, and they're probably things based off of the premise of this.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
Freaky Friday.
No.
What? No.
Freaky Friday is a disaster. It's horrible in every possible way.
I really like the idea that this is based off The Prince and the Pauper, and that I don't remember that story correctly, and that those two actually conspire to, I don't know, make 2 kings fall in love with each other or
Well,
something.
only one king, right? A king and a poor woman,
Oh, sure.
because the pauper presumably doesn't have monarch parents.
Jesus, I'm sorry that I'm apparently slurping loud enough that it may or may not be on mic.
just narrowing those choices down.
Maybe if I had comboed with a hot beverage and a cold beverage, this wouldn't have happened. Maybe my cold beverage is keeping my mouth too tight, my mouth muscles. Jesus.
Beth's bet.
Yeah.
Both parents are rich AF.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they're both rich.
Yeah.
One
Rich
of them,
peas.
I believe, is like a fashion designer.
Ooh.
Yes.
The mother.
The mother is.
And the father owns a winery in
Who
California.
plays the parents?
Oh.
Ooh, Natasha Richardson?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Who's that?
The mom.
Mom. Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, is that
She passed
Who's that?
away on a ski slope.
mhm,
She was married to a famous actor.
Liam
Liam
Neeson.
Neeson.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
And
Ooh, this is a good Totes Recall Venn diagram
yeah.
episode.
Yeah, it's our Freaky Friday versary Vendogram.
And the dad is played by the brother of the pilot in Independence Day,
What?
Wow.
right? Randy Quaid is
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid's
Oh.
brother.
Are they related?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Oh,
That's bet they're brothers.
I thought the Quaids were not related at all.
Oh, I think they're siblings.
I think they're
But
related, sure.
That might be one of those things where I thought like Marilyn Manson and
Shirley
Shirley
Manson.
Manson were siblings.
Sure. I hope so. Oh, Dan's bet there are at least 3 of these. I'm going to say there's at least 3 Parent Traps.
3 Parent Traps.
Mhm.
In the movie?
No, like, yes, they trapped the parents 3 times. No, I think there have been at least 3 versions of this
Okay.
movie.
Okay, Jaquette's bet, they do literally get trapped at some point.
Oh, nice.
Like in an elevator
Yeah.
or
Like at
a
sea.
mousetrap cage or something like that.
Mouse.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Nathan Lane comes in. Mousetrap joke. You
No,
guys
I got
remember
it.
Mousetrap?
I got it. Yep.
Was that a movie based off the board game?
Was it?
I
Is that a
think
board game
so.
movie?
I don't feel. I feel
I
like.
mean, it wasn't that they were trying to catch a mouse, and
Yeah,
that's
but I feel
the
like-
plot of the
Didn't
board
they
game.
spend most of that movie just like chasing the mouse though?
Yeah.
I mean, that's most of the board game, right?
Pretty sure I saw that movie in
I
theaters
also
and
saw
then
that
never
movie
saw
in
it
theaters,
again.
and then also never saw it again.
Yeah, I do. Are you asking me if I remember if I've seen that movie?
Mousetrap.
Because I'll tell you, there's a 50-50 shot.
Sure.
A mousetrap?
I can picture Nathan Lane in a movie that seems mousetrap-ish.
What does that mean?
I can just picture it.
What
Is
does
it-
mousetrapish
Do you think
mean?
it's
though?
Birdcage?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
Okay.
I know what you're saying. No, I know that movie. I've seen it. No, I feel like I saw half of it maybe on cable.
Sure, great.
Oh, was that a dismissive? Sure, great.
No,
Oh, I beg your pardon.
it wasn't intended to be.
Someone's very fancy over there with their slurping and their
You're a regular
tone.
wine dad.
Okay. Sorry. What? So we figured out the parents are the Quaidster, and then Natasha Richardson.
Yeah.
Who should I know her from something else other than tragedy?
Yeah, no, she's been in a
She's
lot of
in a
movies.
lot of stuff.
Okay.
I always get her confused with the woman who's in Love Actually, who's
Everyone is in Love,
I
actually.
know she plays the
Laura Linney.
No.
Oh, the wife of that cat.
Yeah.
Which
I know.
cat?
You know,
Terrible.
that
Oh,
cat.
the really awful one.
Alan
No.
Rickman's
Oh,
wife.
she's lovely.
Oh,
And she
Emma
did.
Yes.
Watson.
No.
No.
Emma Thompson.
Thompson. I always get Emma Thompson and Natasha Richardson mixed
Oh.
up.
Are they similar looking?
I think so.
Are they,
in
are
my,
they
in my
good
head,
English actors?
Mm-hmm.
So if the
Fashion mom.
fashion mom is British, does that mean that one version of La Lohan is also British?
they are.
Well, yes.
Like, okay, convincingly though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
She is excellent.
All right.
She does a pretty good job.
Have these two childs, were they separated
Yes.
for like a long time?
Yes.
Yeah, like they didn't know that they had twins.
Oh.
Wow.
But
And they
still
go-
one child was with each parent?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the
How does-
parents literally were just like, all right, we're done, and they just each took an infant?
Yes. And then lived their own lives.
Huh.
Wait. The mom birthed two childs at one time.
Yes.
Yes.
That's how twins work, yes.
Yeah.
And then each parent was like, I'll take that one, I'll take that one.
Yeah.
But not knowing they're twins?
What?
they knew
no,
they
they
were
knew they were
twins.
twins. The
Okay.
parents knew they were twins.
Oh, okay.
They split up and
But-
they each took.
But the
Custody.
twins don't know that they're twins.
okay.
They think that they're only children, and they think that their like respective parent like died. or
What?
something. I don't think they died, but
Why do
they've never met their other parent.
How do
Yeah.
they run back into each other?
Well, I
Some
feel like you
gala?
should save that for the movie.
Jaquette's bet gala.
Oh,
Uh,
fascinating.
Gala.
I mean, they're both wealthy, to-do folk.
I'm going to say like some sort of dumb like regatta camp.
Regatta
sailing camp or something.
Sailing camp. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yep, that's great.
Because like if they're both rich, they'd have to go to some dumb fancy camp.
At
Yeah.
one point, I'll give you a clue. They fence each other.
Okay,
What?
so I think I have a pretty good shot at this.
I don't know. If Batman galas are any indicator, they're going to be fencing. a
Ooh,
lot
do
as
they
well.
fence each other with their stupid fencing masks on so they don't realize they look exactly alike? And then they're like, hey, you're not very nice at fencing. And they're like, shut up, I'm great at
sure
fencing. Who is the other one, a cowboy? That'd be amazing. Just as American as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Molly, do you want to say anything about this movie since you've seen it?
And we did it all for you.
Oh, I remember loving this movie so intensely. I think in part because Lindsay Lohan does a beautiful job, and it's just a charming, simple movie that maybe in hindsight will seem horrifying.
Sure.
But I don't know. I really enjoyed it, and I feel like Freaky Friday is just the worst possible substitute for this movie.
Uh-huh.
Like,
I'd like to I have a follow-up question for you.
yes.
What percentage are you going to bet is the likelihood that I will, in the second half, ruin this movie for you?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna give it a 55%.
55%. Okay,
Yes.
so just slightly over.
Chances
Oh
are
yeah, chances
good.
are very good.
Alright.
Yeah, you guys are already making inroads on making me doubt my love of this movie.
For making baseless assumptions of this movie we've never seen.
I feel like there are several moments that I can think of in the movie that I feel like you are going to enjoy.
Oh,
Really?
Oh.
And that is, maybe I'm going crazy, but I think you're going to be like, that's insane. And,
Cool.
and you'll enjoy it.
Like, enjoy it because it's terrible?
No.
Not terrible. It's just like, what? I don't know.
Okay.
There's just a couple. There's specifically a couple characters and just one moment that I cannot get out of my head when I think about this movie because it upsets me.
Ooh.
Do they, when they first see each other, think they're looking into a mirror and they like move their hand one way and then the other and then
Yes.
like rub their eyes and turn around?
Yes.
I hope they
I
do.
think you should make that bet.
If they
Yeah.
don't, then it's not a good movie.
Yeah, that's how all twins should meet.
Yeah.
For
They
sure.
should, like, be walking and by, like,
Yeah.
past a tree,
Yeah.
and then stop and back up
Walk
behind
back.
the tree,
Yeah.
come back around, and then do a little... Yeah, great.
I don't want to spoil it since you haven't seen it. I don't want to spoil it, but like I got to make some bets.
Yeah, it's the podcast.
I bet at one point each of them has a half of a photo, and they put the photo
Oh,
together
boy.
of their parents, and the photo is of their parents on the Queen Elizabeth ship, which is where they
Wow.
met.
Specific.
QE2?
Okay, so
Yeah. Yes.
Dan's bet, both parents claim that their other parent drowned.
Great.
And that's
love
why
it.
they tore the picture in half, because
Yeah.
they couldn't bear to see the other on that ship where they died.
Wait, the photo is on the QE2? Or
Is
they-
that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
The photo is of them in
Right.
front of the lifesaver that
Yeah.
says
Oh.
QE2 on it.
Yeah.
That sounds adorable.
There's a dog.
Oh, is there really?
Does
I
the dog
forgot about
get
the
hurt?
dog.
There's a dog.
Does one have a
California
dog and one have a cat?
I don't think there's a cat.
Or like a parakeet or something? What's
It's
a British
not
pet?
Hogwarts.
What's the most British pet in...
You know, all the wizards, they can pick dogs or
Yeah.
parakeets.
Is it a bulldog or
That's true.
some sort of hound?
Yeah, or
Sheep hound?
yeah. I mean, you can't get a corgi because that's an offense to Her Majesty.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a California dog.
Okay, so
Oh,
this
so
movie
it is-
takes place in California. Southern California because it's a movie. And people in Hollywood can't imagine making a movie outside where they live.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want us to drive how many hours north?
Yeah, come at me, Hollywood. Well, that does remind me,
Uh-huh.
someone, I don't know who, probably Ashton Kutcher,
Great.
tweeted out a picture of an old, like, film location map of California, and it was, like, all the different places you would go to film if you wanted to look like you were somewhere else in the world.
Yeah.
It was very interesting.
How
I'll try and find
far?
it
Please find that.
and put it on the totesregal.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you just go to
.com.
Georgia.
Yeah,
Right.
there's
Or
everything's
Toronto.
filmed in Georgia.
Yeah. Toronto for New York. I think Atlanta for everything else. Is that how it
Pretty
is
much.
work?
Currently,
Yeah.
those tax credits
Yeah.
are really
Maybe
powerful.
even Atlanta for New York now. I don't know.
I don't know. I think sometimes there's just a lot more movies set in Atlanta now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or if
So-
you, like, need to be in a haberdashery,
Yeah, there's a haberdashery in
you gotta
Atlanta.
go there.
Yeah.
Because of all the hats there.
Yeah. Atlanta.
Oh, yuck. Y'all, come on.
I did not
This
understand
is-
what was happening until
Yeah.
you said Hatlanta.
This is
and I should have
based-
understood what
Uh-huh.
happened.
This is based on Hotlanta, which no one says. All right?
I've heard
Just-
a lot of people say
No,
it.
no one
I hear
says
that
it in
at
Atlanta.
least twice a day.
Even in this room, I've heard at least 3/4 of the people say it.
Yeah.
With some
I
regularity.
listen to a podcast where they say it all the time.
Y'all are killing me.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, they changed it to Hatlanta to try to be clever, but I know what you're saying. It's terrible. It's the worst.
Speaking of hats, do the low childs wear hats?
Ooh, I bet the
Is
British
that
one
like
does.
a serious bet?
British La Lohan wears a fancy hat at least once.
I think nobody wears a hat.
No one at
Wow.
all. No characters wear a hat.
No hats on heads? Bowl.
Oh, I
Field bowl of Big
I
Ben
think
Megans.
I think
Out of
one
Bethlehem.
character wears a hat.
Okay.
Is
I
it the
think-
mom?
I think it's the butler.
Oh.
There's a butler character?
See, I knew you were gonna be excited
Oh
about the butler.
no.
Butlers don't wear hats.
I think you. Okay, well,
Well, if they're
see.
out.
I don't know.
If you're accompanying your master and their children to like some thing in outdoors, you might wear a little hat and then hold their umbrella.
Yeah.
My butler would never wear a hat.
Oh. Did you have a butler growing up in the sunny coast of
Must be
California?
nice.
Would never wear a hat. I didn't have a butler. We had a chauffeur and a valet.
You did not. You had free cable though.
Hey. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and say I think this will pass Bechdel Wallace.
Oh. Now, does both Lalos count as two different characters?
Yes, they're named. Both of them are.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
What if
What are
every
they named?
conversation they have though starts with like, "Why did our dad do this?"
Yeah.
Well, then it could fail, but I don't think it.
I think it's gonna
I
get
think
passed.
it passes with the mom talking to each of them also.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a movie.
Are there any other children in this movie? Like, do they have friends that are like, "You have a sister"?
There are other kids at camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the beginning.
Oh, there is a camp.
We already said that.
Yeah, there's a camp.
I mean,
Spoiler
I bet it,
alert.
And then you guys sort of
They meet at
implied
camp.
it.
Does either of the two Lolo childs have a romantic interest? Or is all
No,
the romance
They're like 9 years old.
shoved in? Oh, okay. All right.
You can have child crushes.
Yeah.
Haven't you ever seen Little Rascals
I had a child crush.
or The Sandlot?
Really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
What was it like to feel as a child?
Yeah.
I think is the question
Right.
that is being
Difficult. There was a girl I identified as my crush
Okay.
all through elementary school.
Nice.
Wow.
I never did anything about it or told anyone except my best friend who had a crush on her best friend.
Oh.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
You
But
guys
he
could-
maybe talked to her
Oh,
Oh.
because he was more bold than I was.
beautiful.
Beautiful. Bagans.
Big man.
Wow. And then what happened? Did you went to middle school and forgot about it?
She went to a different school
Mm.
Oof.
in middle school or high school.
And that's it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
Wow.
That's hard.
And that person was Lindsay Lohan.
What? Because she's 35.
Just like us. So no child romance.
Yep.
Oh, do either of the parents have a Pierce Brosnan to go from Mrs. Doubt, our
Great.
previous episode, Mrs.
Oh,
Doubtfire?
yes. Yes.
Is there a Pierce Brosnan in the
There-
mix?
yes.
Yeah.
Jaquette's
Except
bet
for-
there's only a Pierce Brosnan, no Piercina.
Oh.
Oh, so you think just the mom has a love interest?
Yeah, because they
Ooh.
want to shove more men into
For
a movie.
Piercina, let's go with sexual psychiatrist from Twister.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
For what?
For like the other person who is romantically involved with an adult who is causing problems simply for existing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait to watch this movie. Let's watch it.
Okay, Jesus.
All right, great.
Well, I mean, you know.
Well, like, why are you so excited about
Yeah.
it?
What?
What's your prediction?
Oh, yes. I am going to give it 4 Lindsay Lohan no hats.
hmm
So
it's not Lindsay Lohan without a hat. It's just the idea of Lindsay Lohan not wearing hats.
It's not for hatless Lalo.
that's right.
It's like an abstract
okay. How about
concept.
4 Armada camps?
Armada camps?
That was another thing we said.
Regatta.
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 Armada camp would be amazing.
Okay, 4 Armada camps.
Yeah,
Great.
if
Now
they're
we're just
learning how to like do naval warfare as 9-year-olds,
This is
this
where
is like some Ender's Game shit.
this is in the Tom Clancy universe, right?
yeah,
Jack Ryan is the Pierce Brosnan.
like they're having like part of the reason the parents get trapped is because a terror cell takes over the camp, and then Harrison Ford is coming and is like, "Get out of my camp!"
Yeah.
and punches a guy.
Why?
Why?
Yeah. Why? Oh.
You were so excited when you thought we were watching this movie, and I don't understand.
Yeah. What's your top?
Help me understand.
This would be
1 to
the
3 things.
second time I would describe my enthusiasm.
No, your enthusiasm last time was just describing the premise and being happy about it, and then being crushed. So I want you to describe why you're happy about it, so that you can then be crushed.
Shut your face! That is so mean. I am excited for this movie because I already said because it's just delightful. It's simple. It passes the Bechdel Wallace test. It's not about finding romantic love, personally.
Isn't it?
I mean, it's about reuniting people. I feel like
So
you'll
you're-
watch it and you'll understand.
All right.
You'll watch it, you'll understand, and then you'll dismantle my love for this movie.
Do
That's probably what will
you
happen.
do you think that Dan and I will be too cynical to appreciate what's happening because
No,
the
I
idea
think
of
this
two
will.
adults being brought back together by their own children is absurd and should never be attempted.
I believe that this movie will find its way into your heart.
Okay, great.
I think you will not be able to help but like it at least a little.
Okay. I'm going to take my training warship to Coward Island and say 3 Armada camps. I literally know nothing about this movie. I think I saw the scene in a previous version where they meet each other on a VH1 special about,
Lindsay Lohan?
No, just about like movies that, like, hey, I'm a stand-up comedian. I'll sit here for 5 minutes and talk about stuff I remember. Those shows.
Sure. I love the 70s.
Whatever, yeah. And I feel like I saw the scene where the blonde version of this movie met each other. And that's literally all I know about the movie.
Yeah.
Cool.
She got red hair in this movie? La Lohan?
Make a bet.
Let's bet she's got red hair.
I will double down on that bet. 3 Armada camp.
Yay! I have actually seen this fairly recently
Oh.
because it was on TV, and I am gonna go with a 2.5.
No! Oh no, am I going to hate this movie?
Oh, look who's
you know what?
crushing Molly this time.
I just don't. I liked it the first time I saw it, and then I saw it again, and I was like, it's okay.
Oh no.
But you know what? I feel like now that we're talking about it, I feel like that I'm gonna get a lot of joy out of watching it with a group of friends.
Okay.
Sure. And the pacing will be
So
better.
That's us.
I'm going low with the hopes that I can go higher later.
When you go low now, you go low high later. Nope.
What?
Cut that out.
But late bet, there's a part where they talk to each other on the not a cell phone, on a landline, and the one is like, "I'm so happy," and so she's like, "I'm gonna stop talking on the phone right now." So she like crinkles a wrapper. It's like, "Oh no, it's
classic.
breaking up," and then she hangs up the phone.
Oh,
Classic.
Jaquette's bet someone curls their finger around phone cord.
great.
I'm tempted to be the first mate on Dan's coward ship. But I think I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say 3 as well. I don't feel like there's gonna be much for me in this movie,
Oh no.
but I believe you, Molly,
Oh no.
when you say that La Lohan is good and it is
Yes.
delightful and simple. I like those things.
Sure.
So 3.
Yay.
Great.
Yay!
Good enough. And with that, we're going to hit pause and go watch Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. We'll be right back. And we're back. We just watched 2 hours and 8 minutes of a pretty good movie.
Great.
I really liked it.
So you really liked it, but it was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good movie. Really
Pretty
like.
good. You really liked,
Yeah.
but it was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
All right.
Parent Trap came out in 1998. Nailed it. Me.
Nice.
Yes.
Good job, you.
Stars La Lohan,
Yes.
which is why do we call her La Lohan? Because it's Lindsay Lohan. Shouldn't it be Lilo?
I don't know. It is also Lilo.
Oh, and Stitch.
Yeah. No. I don't know. I started calling her that.
Is everyone upset by Lilo and Stitch?
Totes.
It's an adorable movie.
I've never seen it. Totes had to remember that I just called her that a lot in our Freaky Friday episode. I can't remember why.
Yeah, I feel like it was like a weird. I don't know. Listen to the episode. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah, tweet at us. Hashtag why that Lilo.
No, why that La Lohan?
La Lohan.
Why that Lalo?
Why that Lalo?
La La Land.
Oh. She was great.
She did a good job.
Yeah.
She did a good job.
did do a good job.
She did a good job.
She did a good job.
I
And
said,
it was so sweet because at the end of the opening credits, they say, "And introducing Lindsay Lohan."
Yeah, it's her first.
Was
big
there
first
like
big
movie.
a nationwide search? Are we talking nationwide search for this movie?
I
When
assume
Disney was
so.
like, we got to remake The Parent Trap.
Yeah.
Give me an adorable girl who can be American and British.
We need
Yep.
freckles and red hair.
I need to get you find me a fucking kid who can stand next to a tennis ball on a stick.
call up George. He knows all about that.
I'll okay, Lindsay, you're going to be standing over here, but you're also going to be standing right there. So remember,
It's industrial, like and magic.
Do you like magic, Lindsay? Okay, George is just going to stand there with the fishing rod. Don't worry. He's fine. He's not. Just pretend he's not there. Okay, great. You're doing so good. You're so good at this. You're going to be a star. You're going to be a star.
That's when it started. I kept thinking about how she has had a hard time in life. Lalo.
Yeah.
And that's too bad because
Yeah.
she's just a precocious little girl. But this is how it all
The
started.
system.
Just wrung out by the machine. And then they were like, oh, good, you're a child star? Now you gotta be hot and everybody wants to bang you. But also, we'll disrespect you all the time. And now the tabloids.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Also, both of your parents are
Monsters.
not good parents.
So that's too bad.
Yeah.
Do you... Here's what I was thinking about. Completely related. Remember,
Great segue.
Britney Spears. Britney Spears had a similar arc in the public eye of being
Also Disney.
treated like garbage, right? Mickey Mouse Club. There was like a while where like Russian billionaires were trying to buy her virginity.
What?
Do you guys remember that?
No.
No? Yeah. Someone like offered her a bunch of money to take her V card.
Wow.
Disgusting.
Gross.
And it was just sort of like, oh, this weird thing in the news, or that's how it was presented
Yeah.
to me in my life. And thinking back, it's like, oh,
That's horrible.
That's real bad.
But instead of it was presented as like a little slice of life story at the end of the half hour.
Like, oh, isn't it funny?
And by the way,
Anyway, that's not this movie.
Squirrels are on water skis and Russian oligarchs are trying to pay for sex. What a world.
yikes.
awful.
So men are monsters,
Yes.
but not so much in this movie.
No, men actually are pretty good in this movie, I feel like.
Yeah,
I mean, the few men that are in it.
right.
Yeah.
The main antagonist is a woman.
Well,
woman.
that's where it gets a little dicey.
Sure.
I mean, although she was presented as like a Disney villain
Yeah.
in a fairly comical and cartoony way.
Literally. She was literally referred to as Cruella de Vil.
She was. And, you know, a lot of her physicality and a lot of the way she was directed to be in the movie was very cartoonish. But it's also
true.
very slut-shaming, I thought. I don't know. I felt kind of bummed out by that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a way. I mean, mostly she was like the bad guy aspect of it was that she was like really mean to the kids.
Yeah.
But
and
she
like,
also just she wanted that money.
she wanted that money.
She wanted Wine Dad's money.
She wanted Wine Dad's money.
And she was willing to lie to a pastor on the phone,
Oh my
which was
goodness.
definitely a big establishing moment.
For 1998.
I don't know. I just thought for the movie.
Was that when she broke bad?
Oh.
Because as a like to reveal to us, because I was wondering,
Yeah,
like
I
at what
think so.
point is she going to be like a Pierce Brosnan who was fine, right? He was
Yeah,
fine.
he was fine.
Yeah.
Because remember, he had that specific exposition conversation with his best friend or whatever, where he's like, no, I actually really like her and enjoy her kids and want to raise them.
Yeah.
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 I
No,
don't-
she was cruel from the very beginning.
Yeah, because
She's
we got
two-faced.
that Chessie monologue.
Yeah.
Remember, like when before they
even
revealed
before
Meredith's
then.
face, we just saw pictures of them holding hands and smooching while Chessie was going on about like, you didn't hear it from me, the sassy housekeeper, but maybe this woman's just looking for some guy who's rich.
Sure.
She said something like that.
That's true, but then she, with her, the very first encounter they have is she lies, and she lies to a pastor about a nonprofit thing. And then she admits to lying immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
She
then if
didn't
it,
lose me because I don't care about pastors.
yeah,
So-
right, am I right?
But she didn't lose me until the golf cart scene.
Yes, the very clearly like just in case everyone hasn't quite figured it out yet, golf cart scene. Yeah,
Where she like backs away. It's like, I'm gonna send those brats to boarding school ASAP.
and then her sassy assistant is just like meow or whatever he
I
did.
think he said ice cold.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
that was great.
That was literally his only role. Like that, he's never in the movie again. Even
No.
though it's apparently like her assistant or
And
something.
I don't think he was even driving the golf cart.
No, she
No.
was independent woman.
Yep. Too independent.
Apparently.
I don't know if that's the case.
I mean, she independently vowed to destroy these children's lives.
Yeah.
Once she figured out there were two of them,
Oh, right. Which I guess she didn't know for a long time.
that's right.
She doesn't care about family.
Yeah.
Can we, like, I think, one, this will help summarize this premise of the movie, but also I have a lot of questions. Can we just, like, quick run down the timeline that we have been led to believe is true in terms of the parents who are then trapped and these children that came of
Yes.
their union? Okay.
Sure.
So here's my understanding based on the way the movie presents it. They get married on the QE2.
Yes.
Or they fall in love on the QE2 and maybe get married very soon after. It
They
wasn't
get
clear.
married
Not
the
clear.
same day.
On there? Married? Same day? Okay, great. Yeah, that's true, because the
a
montage
long
was like the
voyage.
boat and then the signing of the marriage certificate. Great. Okay.
It's like 87,
7?
whatever.
Then when they're later in the movie, when they, spoiler alert, get trapped and talk to each other again, and they don't really get trapped so much as just sort of like adorably manipulated into spending time together. But they kind of like run through the day that she leaves him.
Yeah.
And there's no mention of the kids, which suggests that she left him and then had the kids. Like she was pregnant when she left him.
But then
and
how did
they
he
had
have
like
a kid?
well, they must have
Oh,
like
yeah.
had that conversation. Maybe she was like, "Hey, I'm having a child."
Two
No,
childs.
Right?
no. I think they were together.
Was
she
she
gets on
just-
a plane and leaves.
She's packing and
Yeah.
Just
in
left
her...
with one of the. She just took one
That's
of the
what I
twins.
mean.
and, like,
Because
left.
that's what I'm confused about. Because like, if the kids are already born, that means that in the hair dryer throwing argument, they were like, "Well, I'm taking one of them, and you're taking another one, and I'm flying back to England."
Oh, okay, you're right. So then they had to have broken up before. Maybe
Right?
she might not even known she was pregnant.
Ooh, maybe.
But then she sent a kid back to America?
no, because
No.
Chessie was there when they were born. She said.
Yeah.
So they must have come together again for the birth of the children. And then I guess at that moment they had like whatever that Bible story is, instead of cutting a baby in half.
Solomon.
Thank you. Instead of cutting a baby in half, I assume the doctor was like, well, maybe, I mean, it's a British doctor or an American doctor. Which, okay,
American doctor, because she left to go back to England, right?
Yeah.
Because they were or were they met on
But
the
if-
boat that goes between New
but
York and London?
if she hasn't had the kids yet when she leaves to go back to England, that's what I'm saying. Let's take a bet around the table right now. Assuming the timeline is leaves Dennis Quaid, then has the child. Let's assume the children are born in England or children are born in America.
Well, in that case, they're born in England.
Okay.
But I think she took one child with her.
So, like, literally,
What?
in the
Really?
heat of passion, grabbed one of the children and was like, you get that one, and then just flew off to England?
I think that makes more sense than her having both kids in England and then sending one back to
I don't think,
America.
no. She didn't send it because they were all present for the birth of them. If Chessie was there, Dennis Quaid was there. Unless he was like, I'm too busy with wine.
No.
Go to the,
And this
go
is
to the
where
hospital.
I call a timeout. I
right.
believe those children were born in California.
Okay.
Yes, I think they were born in California, and because Chessie has this thing about how they come home. Chessie's the nanny. About housekeeper. No, she's the nanny. He says, "Your butler and my nanny."
Yeah. But at the time, I think she was a personal assistant.
I feel like that was Dennis Quaid being classist and sort of like simplifying her role in the household.
Yeah.
She did a lot.
She's the everything.
Oh, well, okay, but
But yes,
I
Chessie,
mean,
housekeeper / nanny / personal assistant.
I'm
I feel
sorry.
like
Who am
Nanny
I?
is not incorrect.
I mean, who am I to dispute the main character's assertion about what their relationship is to each other? Which, by the way, you wonder about for a long period of time.
Yeah,
I thought
you
you
do.
might be his sister.
I literally assumed it was his sister
Yeah.
the minute she came on
They
screen.
were so familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, she was there for the birth of his children, apparently.
Well, no, I mean, can't you conceive of a situation where she decides to move to California and to be with him?
Yep.
They have these beautiful daughters.
Yep.
They're very happy.
Yep.
But then they have a big argument.
Okay.
And once the dust has settled a little bit, they make this decision about what to do with the children, and then she boards the 747.
But
I
that's
think
not-
That's
she
not how
says
he.
that's the last day that she saw him. She threw a hairdryer at him and then went to the airport, and then they never saw each other again because he didn't follow her. So that does assume that he either sent one of the children back, or she sends one of the children back after they arrange that somehow. Or maybe that's why Chessie was there at the birth, because she had to collect the child and then bring the baby
that
back.
is some
creepy.
Dickensian nightmare.
I'll send my maid
That's
to pick
right.
up my broom.
I demand one of my children.
Or
The
she,
vineyard needs an heir.
in one hand, has one baby,
Yeah.
and in the other hand has a hairdryer.
Oh, sure.
Throws
Okay.
the hairdryer
Yeah.
and then just leaves, and then it's like, oh no, I had a baby in my hand the whole time.
No,
Or
so maybe
she thought she had both children, realized she had a hairdryer, and then in frustration threw it at him, but then was so flustered she just left, and then
Yeah.
on the plane had a Home Alone moment like, Hallie, or whichever one she left in California. But then by that point, she was just like, well, I don't want to deal with that guy again.
Yeah.
And then like sent a note to Chessie or something. It's like, she's yours now.
Yeah, I feel like more and more she just didn't even know she was pregnant when she left him.
Okay.
So she
And then
sent
they
a
had to
child
sort it
back?
out. Listen.
They do say this is what we agreed upon.
Yeah. Okay. So
At
maybe
some point they had a semi-rational conversation about how they each have one child.
right. Maybe when they say they didn't speak to each other, that's because they spoke through like attorneys or something. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
depressing.
dear Mr. Wyandotte, this is the barrister from whatever.
Tulane.
Yeah. I'm just saying there are some questions there.
There are some
Yeah.
questions.
Wow.
The thing that I enjoyed about watching this movie after hearing both of you describe it, and I was feeling sort of depressed, is I was realizing that despite the name, The Parent Trap, that honestly, what's sweet to me about the movie and the motivation that I find compelling is that they each just want to spend time with the other parent.
Yes.
Who was a stranger to them at that moment. And then the getting their parents back together is a secondary situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here's now that we're like in the weeds with this, let's keep going because I just have a lot of questions about just the choices these two adults have made in their lives with their children. All right. So at some point, like when they were a little older, were they gonna be like, oh, by the way, here's your mom, here's her phone number. Maybe you guys should talk to each other. Like what was their plan?
I don't think they had a plan.
I don't think so. I think they were just dumb, young, and full of confidence.
Oh my god.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because seriously, like, we're to believe they had this very passionate relationship, had these children, each took one, and then we're just like, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
And that this is how it's going to be for the rest of these children's lives. They will never know they had a sister. They will never meet their other parent.
I don't think they planned it out.
No, they clearly didn't. They're
They
idiots.
each took a child, either sent it or received it or whatever. They ended up with a child.
Yes.
And they established that both parents have a pattern of sort of pushing off questions about
Yes.
the other parent.
Yes.
Oh, we've talked about it, but not really. Like, that dynamic happens both times. So, I don't know, at some point, one of them was going to they were going to have a come to Jesus moment,
Yeah,
right?
that's how you say it.
Southernism. Nailed it. And someone was going to make them talk, but I don't think either parent had a plan to like reveal on your 18th birthday,
Oh, right.
you'll uncover a set of clues
That's
that
right.
your sibling will be behind it.
What is this strange signature in the back of this fashionable dress in Vogue magazine?
Yeah. So that's too bad for those kids.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's a dumb choice those parents made.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And to me, the craziest thing is that they're like, yeah, that was such a stupid idea. And then they decide to do it again when you think that they're not going to be together again.
That's true.
Well,
Except for holidays. Like,
I mean, that at least makes more sense. Like, then there's at least a established relationship. As a child of divorce. You're welcome, Molly. Really, like, all you can really hope for is that there is, like, enough civility where the children can, like, interact with both, like, all members of the family.
but there was never a point where, like, your brother was with your dad and you were with your mom.
No,
right?
but that does happen with some
I
parents,
just feel
with
like
some
then
families.
you're apart from your siblings, and now
Yeah.
they know that they're sisters. They're gonna keep them separated that whole time.
I don't know. That does happen with some families because some children would prefer to be with one of the parents.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think it's probably more like, and I don't have any experience with this situation, but it's more like finding out that you're adopted and then discovering your birth parents,
yeah.
right? And then you have to choose it because the mom or dad is a stranger to the child that didn't spend 11 years with them.
Right.
So they have to now make a decision, how much do they want that other person in their life?
Yeah.
And they both have chose like the whole life,
Right.
which is maybe unfair to the adults in that situation, but
Yeah, I guess it was like, it just was weird to me because they both, like, they clearly hadn't thought this through because both of them, like, both Quaid and Natasha Richardson were both, like, so happy to meet the other kid, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they were, like, clearly so delighted to, like, see this other child. So, like, you'd think that maybe in the last 11 years, they're like, man, it would be great to see that other
shut
kid.
it down.
Just fucking have Chessie write a letter to the barrister over in London and be like, hey, maybe the kids can come over. Maybe we can meet,
You
I
know,
think they were respecting each other's wishes, probably. That's pretty controlled of both of them.
That's true. Well, still, that's very selfish, is what I'm saying. I think they were both being very selfish.
The parents were?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
there was some.
good thing that they were trapped.
Indeed. Or good thing that they
Yeah,
both
sure.
really wanted to send their kids to what must be a very nice camp for rich people.
Oh, it was.
Like-
It was an Armada camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways.
Yeah, it was
There
a
were
rich
boats.
camp. There was fencing,
Yeah.
as we called, right? There's fencing and they wouldn't know.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
wearing their fence
Yeah.
helmets or whatever.
Yeah, but then they find out right after fencing. They both fall in a horse trough, which is there.
Well, wait, but they don't find out. They just discover each other, but dismiss the opportunity to properly identify
Yeah.
each other as sisters.
And I feel like, Dan, you pointed this out that like they like just internalized that they had a perfect twin at this camp real quick. Like you were saying, like, should they be freaking out more that this kid looks exactly like them?
Oh, yeah, they like accept that they look alike
Yeah.
pretty fast, but then don't get to sisters for a little while.
Yeah.
And then once they get there, it's like, oh, fine, we're sisters. We're
But
twins.
like you were, I feel like you, I don't know, I feel like you were saying like it was just weird that they immediately were just like, well, this is just my weird camp rival, and I'm not even just gonna gloss over
But
this.
may I just insert myself here? So one thing to keep in mind is that when you have people who are twins, they look very distinct to each other, right?
Sure.
Because they know themselves,
Sure.
right? So
True.
and
That's true.
parents can tell twins apart. So it's entirely
Well, some parents.
okay. All right, apparently not these particular parents.
because they're idiots.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Ah.
Apparently trapped.
Apparently, it's a trap.
So I think that their hatred could blind them a little bit, and their sense of independence and stubbornness, and
Sure.
just the unlikelihood of it.
Do you think it's like when some dogs see themselves in the mirror and
I don't know.
like-
Listen, I will tell you that I have a very
You have a twin?
no. I have a face that apparently, when I was growing up, everybody thought I looked like somebody they knew.
Oh,
Yeah,
You
it
have a
happened a
clone?
lot. I mean, I probably not. They would say stuff. No, I definitely know you from soccer, and I'd be like, I definitely didn't play soccer.
were they trying to
trust
trick
me.
you?
No,
Okay.
no, they're being very earnest. And I, so yeah, and I look like one of the kid actors on a TV show, and I guess what I'm saying is, when you're kids, you're still forming. Let's just give them the benefit of the doubt that their hatred takes over before they get a chance to properly identify
Sure.
each other.
Kids are petty and
and then
stupid.
they get put in the isolation cabin,
That was amazing.
That's great. Yes.
which is like freaking crazy.
Where there's no counselor at all.
Oh, at all.
It seemed to be like in the middle of the woods. Like the two counselors had to take all of the kids to the isolation
Yeah.
cabin because they could not leave them alone for that long of a
Yeah.
period
Yeah.
of time.
You children who have been fighting each other,
Yeah.
now be alone unsupervised.
Yes, for weeks apparently.
Yeah, figure it out.
For
Also-
the rest of camp.
2 counselors. There were 2 counselors that entire
Well,
camp.
and that's probably part of the reason.
Marva
Marva
and
Jr.
Marva Jr.
Who was Janice from Friends? You're welcome.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know how much you like it when I bring up Friends on this
Friends.
podcast.
Big friends bang. That's the theme song.
Yep.
Friends bang.
Big friends bang.
Oh, I didn't
Isn't
hear
that
the,
what it's called?
I didn't hear
Yeah.
the big part.
Big Bang meets Friends.
We don't know if there are any Big Bang Theory actors in this movie.
There could be.
Could be.
There could
Yeah.
be. Although,
What
if
if
you'd like
Sheldon
to
was that
hear
little boy
about
at the
Big
girls'
Friends
camp?
Bang, you could donate. What was it? $1,000?
I think that was what I said.
$1,000
A month.
a month to our.
Once we reach $1,000.
Oh, okay.
So anybody could do it if 1,000 people or like 900 people
Yeah.
just donated $1 a month,
Uh huh.
Yeah.
which is less than a pack of bugles.
Sure. Like the chip.
That's probably slightly more than a pack of bugles. Yeah.
$1?
Yeah.
Depends.
When I buy a pack of bugles, it's 75 cents.
Well, with taxes
Where do
though.
you buy a pack of bugles?
from the vending machine at work.
Oh, well, vending machines, sure. I mean, that's a totally different subject. The point is, though, if you go to patreon.com/TotesRecall,
Yeah.
give us $1, and then tell 999 of your friends to also donate us $1
Yeah.
a month. I should make that clear. It's not a one-time deal. We're talking about supporting the arts, right, over a sustained period.
If you want to loophole us, and if you time all of those 1,000 people, we'll hit our goal.
That's
we'll
true.
do Big Friends Bang.
That's true.
And then everybody will rescind their money,
Right.
and we'll be stuck holding the podcast.
I mean, we can just do one episode then.
Sure.
How about that? $1,000 per episode for Big Friends Bang.
All right.
Yeah. And for those Totes heads who maybe aren't quite pure Totes heads, if you didn't hear that episode, Big Friends Bang is the supplementary podcast we will do where we will watch the show Friends, the show Big Bang Theory in sequence together. So like first episode, second episode, and we will compare the two and scientifically determine whether, what was it? Friends is the Big Bang Theory of the 90s
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, whether it holds up
Yeah.
and is it the Big Bang Theory? Yeah.
Great.
Patreon.com/TotesRecall.
Patreon.com/TotesRecall.
Oh.
Anyway,
Wow.
okay, so
Like a camp counselor and a
Just
daughter.
did like karate hands.
hang on. I'm back in it. I'm getting back into the movie.
Ready to chop through
Okay.
He wants to
this.
talk when the babies cross the sea again.
Yeah, it's weird. But I love the fact that the reason they get sent to the isolation cabin is because they are apparently incredible pranksters. British Lohan somehow managed to get all of American Lohan's cabin's beds onto the roof of the cabin.
Yeah.
Because
and
of her
then,
strong friend.
oh, right. No, I thought Strong Friend was American Lohan's
Yeah,
friend.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Mm.
Who knows?
She probably has a British strong friend.
Or she,
League of
like
Extraordinary
any
Gentlemen.
good Brit, she probably just subjugated the people of another country
Right.
to do it for her. Anyway, she did make a hand-drawn Union Jack, which is very adorable,
Yeah.
that she put on the flagpole of the cabin. But then, to get back at her, as Americans are wont to do, American Lohan escalated the situation probably farther than was necessary,
Yeah.
and created some insane, like, Rube Goldberg machine of water balloons and like a bucket full of how much, like
Like,
many gallons.
many
of chocolate.
gallons of, like, probably the camp's whole supply of chocolate
Oh,
sauce.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
imagine.
Like nobody gets a Sunday the rest of
Oh,
camp.
that's why they're in the isolation cabin.
Yeah.
Probably because so the other kids
Oh.
don't murder them. That's what it was. Marva and Marva Jean were like, holy shit, we're out of chocolate sauce. These girls are going to rip them apart.
Yeah. Well, hey, get some plain vanilla ice cream. Sounds great.
Hey.
Hashtag all my beef fans.
Yeah, bringing it back.
Oh.
Anyway, it was insane. And somehow they managed to not wake up like a dozen children all
Yeah.
night to create that
I don't understand
crazy...
that because I literally can hear like the tiniest noise and I'm like, oh, I'm awake
Yeah.
for,
I mean,
now
they're
for
all
the rest of the night.
spies.
And we'll
Wow.
never fall.
They're all undercover spies, probably.
Who?
Or that
Wait.
camp might be a CIA
What?
training black site.
What are
Oh,
you
shit.
Oh, I know. That's why they didn't wake anybody up. Because they're spies.
All of
But what about
Ameri-
the spies that are sleeping?
Oh, they're bad spies.
They're getting washed out. They're getting washed out of the program. Okay,
That's MI6 versus CIA.
That's
CIA
true.
is clearly better. USA number one.
USA number one. Speaking of USA number one, let's get back to what Beth mentioned, which was American Lohan's super strong friend, because that was amazing. Because I made a joke that would be like the character's defining characteristic,
Yeah.
but then it turned out basically to be true.
I mean,
She was in like 2 scenes.
it wasn't.
So
It
it
wasn't
happened
like
one more
she's
time.
super strong.
But like
it
she
was
is
like,
the strong girl.
She was giving the Lohan a piggyback ride.
Yeah, after she like deftly pulled her own duffel bag out of a pile of duffel bags with one arm.
Yeah.
When no one else could complete it. It was sort of like pulling the sword from the stone.
Yeah, except because it was the American Lohan, she didn't get that reference.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really liked the movie.
Yeah, no one's disputing that.
Are we done? I got more to say.
I got plenty more to say.
So far, we've just gotten through like the beginning of camp.
Okay, we bet that maybe there would be one hat or no hats.
Oh yeah,
God.
there were so many hats.
There were so many hats.
And
And
the
like,
hats were important.
yeah, crucial hats.
There were
Maybe not crucial, but like,
Okay.
character development.
Hat number one is when they go to the photo shoot.
oh, there's hats before that.
Oh, there
What?
are?
Yeah, there's hats at camp. A lot of people wearing ball caps.
Okay,
but
okay.
then
Main characters wearing
yeah,
hats?
Oh, like La
American
Lohan.
Lohan says a hat that says
Girl
"Girls
power,
Rule."
girls rule. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
Then,
Pretty
hat
cool.
number two is at the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very important because the veil is not sitting right. So then she's like, go grab me one of those hats. And she grabs like a top hat.
There's
Oh,
like 12 top
yeah.
hats
There's
available.
so many hats.
But you know what? There's a black one and a white one. And she says, which one do you like? And she's like, I like the white one. And she's like, me too.
And that's how you know they're true children, parents. And like she's bonding finally with her mother. 'Cause it's like we agree
they
on
are
hats.
true children parents.
Whatever.
Yes. What's the other hat?
When they get to America, there's a lot of cowboy
Oh,
hats
yeah.
as they ride ruggedly through the
Yes.
vineyards.
Well, Quaid drives her home from the airport in a cowboy hat.
God, quite so rugged.
Oh,
He's
there's-
so rugged in this movie.
He's like all ruggedness and cheeks,
Yeah.
just
Yes.
smiling.
just
So
chiseled
many
out of
smiles.
granite.
Ugh.
Quaidster.
Then there's the hat where the stepmom, evil stepmom, is revealed.
Oh yes, that's right. She like
Slowly lifts her
Cruella
head up
de Vil
and she's,
style.
yeah, she
Well,
does
she's
have,
wearing a
she's
black hat.
Yeah.
Black and
Ah,
white, yes.
classic Western white hat, black hat.
oh
Yeah.
no, if only
Oh,
Quaid
symbolism.
if only Quaid wasn't so sexist,
Yeah.
he probably would have seen that. But he's probably like, women can't be cowboys.
Yeah. Hopped up on hornball pills.
Yeah, he sure was.
Hornball?
He's what?
What is a hornball?
Hopped up
pill?
on hornball pills.
What is that?
I don't know, Viagra or something.
You just so out of you're pulling from this movie. Like you're pulling from this movie that character is clearly just like slamming down sex pills.
I mean, yeah. Why else couldn't he see how evil this woman was being to his child?
That's true, and we did there was a lot of implications that like their relationship was mostly sexual, so he probably wanted to keep up with the 26-year-old Meredith.
Yeah.
Because how old is he supposed to be? I don't know.
800.
800 years old. Wow.
I mean, he only wants to get down to Pound Town.
Oh yes.
He's gonna
Gross.
ride that horse to Pound
She
Town.
said she's
boy.
like 15 years. Oh yeah, I don't know. Never
What?
mind. They didn't give us enough tools to do the math.
She was like 26, right?
She was 26 for sure.
But his
He was undetermined.
undetermined.
He didn't say. He was like, she's like, how old are you, Dad? He's like, oh, well, why are we mathing around and we could be talking about wine or
Girls
whatever.
don't do math.
Oh. Yikes.
Great.
Although they do great engineering in that prank cabin. The
Oh,
engineering
yeah.
is top notch.
Top notch.
Yep. So good on them.
Good on them.
Good for girls.
Good for girls.
Good for
Girls
girls.
rule or girls power, whichever that hat was.
Yeah. Both.
That's right. During the movie, one of the Dans was like, "What is this? A STEM camp?"
Yeah. Let's try to guess
Engineering.
which one of the Dans asked whether it was a STEM camp.
The one in robotics club.
Hey.
I bet that Lohan would have red hair. Nailed it.
Nailed
Wow.
it.
Wow.
Both of them
And
did.
she had freckles.
Yep.
That was mine.
Yep.
Great.
Okay, let's talk about Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, Piercina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it wrong that there would be a Pierce Brosnan instead there's a Piercina.
Yes. Meredith.
Instead of thinking they would put more men into a movie, they just need to put more sexy women in.
Right. Hollywood.
Yeah.
I have to say, the butler and the nanny have a much more prominent role than I had expected.
They were great.
They
Yeah.
were terrific.
I wrote Chessie. Her name is Chessie, by
Yes.
the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't figure out what it's
This
for.
like threw me for a loop because we were watching it with subtitles, and anytime I've watched this movie, I've heard them say Jessie.
Which is a more normal name.
Yeah.
Yes, but it was like as I listened to it, it was clearly Chessie with
Yes.
CH, and I feel like the Mandela effect was taking place.
Yeah.
Like I'm in
Oh.
a different dimension where her name is Chessie for some reason.
Shazam.
Shazam, starring Chinbad.
Chessie, we've talked about her a little bit, but she's my favorite part of the movie.
Oh wow.
Let's get into it.
She's just so
Let's dish.
she's just such a brassy, no nonsense gal.
She's great.
I want to gal around with her.
Yeah, I also would want to gal around with Chessie. If I had to gal around with anyone in this movie, it'd be Chessie.
Oh, for sure.
No question.
There's a wonderful scene where Natasha Richardson's character does a sham-a-lam slam
Okay.
where she gets out of going on a camping trip with her ex-husband and her 2 kids and convinces Cruella de Vil to go instead. And afterwards, she and Chessie start to walk back towards the house. And I have to say, I just felt like, let's see that.
Right? They're going to have such a good time.
They're going to have such a fun time
They're going to have
together.
such a good time. First of all, Chessie's going to get all the deets on that butler to make sure he's not a psychopath.
Yeah.
Because they be banging.
For sure.
For sure. They have a meet cute when he's in a Speedo in the hotel.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Then he lays on the charm thick.
Thick.
And she goes weak in the knees.
She's ready for it.
And usually she's full of brass and sass.
Yeah.
But not around Marty
Yeah,
in that banana hammock.
the servant romance was the highlight of the film because we already loved Chessie. We were okay with Martin the butler until he was set free a la the genie in Aladdin because she was like, please come to America with me as a friend, not as my servant or employee.
Which is problematic, and we've talked about it before on this podcast, that your servants are not doing you a favor when they keep working for you
Right.
above and beyond their duties.
Yeah, and when you are specifically asking them, please help me take care of my children.
Yeah.
Even if it's outside your home. Anyway, but what we learned about Martin, the next scene, is that when he is not working, he is a leather daddy. And he gets out of his stuffy butler suit and wears a cool leather jacket and a tight black tee. And then apparently as soon as he's in California, or were they in California? California.
Yes.
As soon as he's in California, he's like, I'm going to get that California sun, put on my Speedo, and an ambiguous bottle of something, probably suntan lotion.
Sure. He's got bronze up.
Yeah, he's got to bronze up.
And yeah, meet cute, and then it's nothing compared to what happens later.
Between them?
Yes?
Oh, when they...
They have the close quarters.
Sure, they're on the boat again.
Yeah, they've
when
been...
the kids parent trap them again.
Yeah, the kids adorably manipulate them into getting on the boat, and then adorably manipulate Martin into once again being a servant, even though he was supposed to be on the trip only as a friend.
Yeah. But they like are rubbing up against
Oh.
each other in the hallways,
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to get each other by with the ladle.
Like, they don't have the ladle yet. They're like, we have to go serve the vichyssoise because Martin is like, things are heating up. I think we can serve the vichyssoise, which is a little joke for you chef heads out there because the vichyssoise is served cold.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
But they're like, I'll ladle you something,
Yeah.
right? Serve. Then they get in this weird little thing where they're in a tiny boat and it's a because the servants have to go through the small hallways and the small hallways so they're not seen.
Yeah.
And they're like kind of rubbing up on each other and then they're like, right, I'll ladle or something.
Yeah.
And then Molly Chase, pure sweet Molly Chase, immediately shouts after he says, I'll ladle. She says quite enthusiastically, with my dick.
Yep.
It was the subtext.
Of course it was. Yeah. They for sure be banging down in the servants.
Whatever. Bunker. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think that they knew each other before that? No.
Oh,
No.
great
Like,
question.
do they feel like when they ran into each other, like, oh, I'm nice to meet you again, or whatever, and they're like, I'm
Oh,
this
they're playing a
person.
coy?
Yeah.
Do you think they had a secret?
Dan can't contain his just like flailed
Oh,
his
in the
whole
air.
Do you think what happened is that after the barrister wrote to Quaidster and he was like, Chessie, go get my kid from London. She goes to London. She meets Martin at the airport where they do the baby exchange and they have this connection and they're like, put that baby down because I'm going to fuck you right now. And they've been thinking about each other for 11 years. And she was like, oh, if only, like, I wonder whatever happened to that hot Englishman that gave me this child.
Yeah, I think that probably happened.
Okay, awesome. Because they definitely went to have sex the minute they left that hotel room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No
they
question.
did not make it to the pool.
No.
Yeah, and then we see in the after credits or during
The, like,
credits
yeah.
snapshots that Marty, good old Marty,
Yes.
proposes to Chessie at the wedding.
At their wedding, which is a baller move for a butler, I must say. Like, let me take away from your day, Mom.
Yeah. That's, I think, when he becomes a free man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was the manacles magically fall off him moment.
Once he finds true love, he gets to be a free boy.
free boy.
Well, I mean, as we discussed during while we were watching the movie, as we know, traditionally in England, all servants are required to be asexual until they are sent away as friends. Then they're allowed to be sexual again.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't have a sexual butler.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
What's gonna happen
about
to that
Alfred?
soup?
What?
I'm just kidding.
I mean, Alfred, I'm sure he got around in his younger days.
You mean Batman's Alfred?
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh, he was so lonely.
Oh,
That's why he's made that
Alfred.
computer program.
oh no. Oh.
Sorry.
Anyway, rise up the proletariat.
Absolutely.
Take back the means of production.
Absolutely. Propose to your girlfriend at your master's wedding. Reverse Downton Abbey this bullshit.
And steal a sock.
What?
Dobby.
Dobby.
style.
Oh.
You can't steal a sock.
Ooh.
You need to be given
Give
a
a sock.
sock.
Speaking of socks, I have a question.
Great.
This is going way back to the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, let's do
Not
it.
the beginning. So we learn through exposition Butler talk when he drops off. Which one's the British one? Annie? Annie. He's like, oh, here's a pack of cards from your grandfather. Hopefully you'll, find someone who can take you in poker because you're so good at it or whatever. And then it turns out that they're both good at poker because that's how genetics works.
Oh, yeah.
But the way you find out they're both good at poker is Hallie comes in like a cool jacket with a sock full of quarters that she's like swinging around in a very intimidating manner.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, do you think she had some kind of like protection racket going at the game?
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you think she had her and the really strong girl, had just gone around the different cabins busting skulls to get those quarters?
Yeah, or at least threatening to
And then the
bust
strong
skulls.
guy's like, hey, Hallie, I hear there's a legal card game happening in the whatever tribe of Indians that we named these cabins after.
Yeah. And then they tied Vincent D'Onofrio to a bed and
Yep.
hit him with their socks filled with soap
What?
before he went and blew his brains out in the bathroom.
What movie is that?
Full Metal Jacket.
Oh,
Like, that is
Jesus.
on no episode of Friends I've seen.
I remember that
Terrible.
episode.
Yeah, it's the
That was
Full
the one
Metal
with the
Jacket
sock.
homage to on Friends.
Oh, wait, what?
A deep cut. That's good. Beth knows her friends.
I do,
That's all
I
I'm
know.
saying.
Oh, cool.
All right, fine.
Good.
I will say, at the beginning of this movie, even at the beginning, I was enjoying the movie. The initial pan across the camp, I think was very well done. Of like showing like all the things that were happening, and like the big pile, and then meeting our characters. That's a note I wrote that I enjoyed. Camp pan.
That's great.
Pan?
Should I savor this moment? Is like the only thing you enjoyed about this movie?
Oh, I did. Molly did look over at one point.
Oh,
when
yeah.
There was some emotions happening to check in to see if we were feeling anything.
Yeah, Dan and I were a little behind the curtain for you all. Dan and I sit on the same couch when we watch a movie. So Molly has a full-on view of both Dans should she choose to turn away from the TV.
Yeah, and what was your assessment of how much we were feeling?
0.
Oh, come on.
But then at one point you were like audibly feeling, but I feel like you were like doing it on purpose. You're like,
Yeah.
Aw.
I was trying to coax the emotions
Oh, okay.
within me out.
Yeah. Sometimes, you have to like, sometimes it's not like a magical world where you just see your parent after 11 years and everyone's happy, even though this is incredibly complicated and probably very uncomfortable situation. Sometimes you have to let the feelings process for a bit.
Oh dear. I think I know what this is about.
No,
I guess I wouldn't know, Dan.
I saw my parents all the time. It's fine.
What that movie that I was like, okay, the actress that was in the original
Yes.
one, her name is Haley Mills.
Ah,
Right.
It is a Haley something. But what is the other movie that I said that she was in? I
Miracle on 34th?
No, I thought you wrote it down. It was
Oh,
something
you did
about
it something
angels.
like we're not
Oh,
angels.
yeah.
No angels
Nothing
are bad.
good about angels.
Nothing good about angels.
Okay,
Did you find?
I did. It's called Trouble with Angels.
Oh, so there's maybe something good.
Is that the movie that they
pretty
watch
close.
in Home Alone? The gangster movie? Isn't that
no.
also angels? Like dirty sky angels?
Yep, that's the name of it.
Tweet at us. Hashtag what dad angel move.
Which angel move?
What dad Home Alone angel
There
move.
we go. All right.
There you go.
We'll get it. And then we'll just do the emoji. You can do Macaulay Culkin Home Alone face
The
slap.
Scream
There's
Cat.
a
cat,
You can do Scream
yeah.
Cat
Scream cat. There it
Or
is.
yeah,
or Scream
or
Person.
Scream Person.
Scream Cat's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that.
Scream cat at us.
Yeah.
Scream cat.
Scream Cat.
Scream cat. Good. Nailed it.
Did we make any other bets?
We bet they'd be rich peas, is what I wrote.
Rich
Yeah.
peas? Oh.
People.
Yeah,
That's
they were
your shorthand for people?
Yeah.
peas.
Rich peas?
Yeah.
They were rich peas.
They were rich
Wow.
peas.
Like,
Yeah.
so rich.
So-
Must be
rich.
nice that they can not have to go to work or whatever and figure out this weird child swap parent trip.
Yeah,
This
she's
is-
like, I have to go out of town today. And then she was like, what are you talking about? And then they do.
Yeah.
They just go to the United States the same day.
Yeah, she's just like, hold on, French person that I talk to on the phone sometimes. I have to go to America.
Yeah.
I bet that happens all the time.
With Fashion Mom?
Yes, with like
Jet setting?
Yes,
Yeah.
just jet setting.
That's probably true.
I've watched a lot of TV
Sure.
and movies.
And they just
Wine
go-
Dad probably spends most of his time, like,
In
around that
California.
area, right?
Yeah.
In Napa Valley? Where's he
I
going to
mean,
go?
why would you leave America? It's the best country.
I
in
mean,
the world.
well, USA number one, certainly. But I guess he probably, at some point, he had to travel the world like Bruce Wayne to get all of those bottles of wine, right?
I don't know, the internet.
Okay, well, never mind.
Wait, no. Well, they only had benefit.
Chessie
of-
probably was going around.
Oh, that's probably what it's like. Chessie, I found another one.
Oh, well, yes, off too. She's not
Go
British.
get that wine and a baby.
Yes.
Oh, do you think that's the only reason you got that baby back? Is because there was one of the bottles of wine?
No.
Oh, he just wanted the bottle of wine, but then she was like, by the way, here's a baby.
The bottles of wine thing is kind of sweet, but also confusing.
Yes.
Um,
Their whole, like, once Cruella is out of the picture, like, their whole deal gets very confusing very quickly.
And at some points it gets boring.
yeah,
Wow.
I will say
Yeah.
that was one problem I had with this movie is that the actual romance between Fashion Mom and Wine Dad
Yeah.
is uncomfortable. Like beyond the two children pushing them together, like their chemistry isn't great,
No.
really. And I don't feel very compelled to believe that they are still in love with each other.
It feels like to me that they are like two people who have like crushes on each other.
Yeah.
Like they beyond that don't have any. They just smile at each other a lot.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of weird tension, but there's nothing like it doesn't seem like they have a history because they kind of don't have a history.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were together for not
Yeah,
long.
he reveals that he's collected all the bottles of wine from their first wedding which is like a big gesture, but then also was like, oh, I'm gonna marry this other lady, and wasn't that thrown by her showing up in terms like romantically thrown? Like he still was like, I never saw a scene of him being like, oh, my ex-wife is back. These feelings I have.
I mean, he was flustered, but it was more flustered like, this is incredibly awkward for me.
Yeah.
They felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's because it's more a movie about 11-year-old girls,
Right.
and so maybe the romance isn't as robust as it would be for like, oh, a Nicholas Sparks movie or one of the other famous romances.
Right.
I'm joking, those are garbage.
They are.
Come at me, Sparkshead.
Yeah, so basically, it really doesn't sound like so much as a romantic gesture as like maybe he was kind of depressed.
Yeah, it's
Right?
like he was obsessing over her,
Yeah.
and then maybe got past it, and it was like, oh, I found someone new. I can
Right.
like do something this, and then she shows up, and he's like kind of in denial, maybe that she's there, and he's like, well, I guess I'll keep going on with this thing, and then so easily is like, nah, I'm done with you.
Yeah, it was weird, and again, this might be because the movie is more about the 11-year-old, so they don't really go into it too much. But it felt so weird, where Cruella de Vil, after she gets nearly drowned, when the two girls drag a heavily sedated Meredith into the lake on her inflatable mattress. I'm just saying, like if she rolled over and was like that heavily sedated, whew,
Yeah, there's a good
Not
chance
good.
this movie got real dark.
real dark, real fast. I mean, I did think at one point that British Lohan was literally going to throw a rock at her skull when they were on a camping trip. So we were already kind of prepared for that.
That series of things that they do to her ends with a lizard
Oh yeah,
that was on her head
Yep.
climbing into her mouth.
which a lizard would not do.
And that's the scene that it really sticks with me every time
Yeah,
I
of course
see
it
that
does.
movie. Because I'm like, what is happening?
It would never do that.
Yeah,
No.
why would a lizard climb into someone's
she
mouth?
spits it
And
out.
she's like, I just... I can't even, like, it's so weird and, like, kind of out of place.
Yeah, it is. It seemed like it was like for the trailer probably.
Yes,
right.
that for sure was in the trailer. There's also the part in the trailer where she's, like, at the window. She says something. Who cares?
Who said something? Who said something? All right. This is Trailer Talk with Beth. She says something. Who cares?
I gotta go see a Disney movie.
Okay. Now, if we get $2,000 a month, we will do Beth K. Gibbs watching trailers or summarizes trailers
Yeah.
where she doesn't care that much. I would watch that every goddamn.
Yeah. It's just you smoking a cigarette.
Absolutely
All right,
smoking a
next
cigarette.
fucking trailer.
yeah. We film them all at once so that you get really tired and grumpy. We don't let you eat for the whole time. And then, by then it's like, I don't know, they fucking punch another spaceman. Who gives a shit? It's gonna make $1 billion.
Next.
She kisses him or whatever. Move on.
Ah.
Yep. 2000.
Oh, good. It's what's her name again. Okay. Anyway, what were we talking about?
How they almost killed Meredith camping.
Oh, yeah. But like once she's like, it's like I'm gonna send them off to boarding school. It's them or me. Like obviously, I feel like most parents would be like, yeah, fuck you. I'm picking my children if that's an actual conversation we're having. But it was very much presented as just like, oh, I suddenly completely agree with my daughters, and I'm just going to like casually and playfully reject you. And then as soon as they get back, he seems sort of like, I don't know, he felt like the wrong kind of relieved that their engagement was off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we don't ever see her again.
Yeah, so like, did they drop her off?
So they could have drowned her in that
They
lake.
could've.
did not.
I mean, he got the ring back.
They're
What
like,
else does he need,
where's
right?
Meredith? And
Oh,
he's
we
like,
dropped her off.
Yeah, we dropped her off in the lake.
Yeah. No, he's like, oh, we dropped her, and then turns to get like, if you say one goddamn word to your mother.
All right, this is how I'll get back to your mother. Now that I've killed, I've tasted sweet death.
The three of us, this is a blood oath. One of us goes down, we're all going down. Do you understand? I mean, you don't become the wine king of California without, busting a few grapes. Am I right?
No, I think I agree. Like, this is a movie about 11-year-old girls, right? So he's going
Okay,
to
that's
focus
right.
a little
That's what
bit.
you're agreeing with.
A little bit more on that.
Yeah.
But I also do agree that I wanted that chemistry to work a little better.
Mhm.
And it just kind of never did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it had this, it had a nice contrast to his attraction to Cruella de Vil's character. But yeah, it also felt like sort of a tired and frumpy romance half the time, and the other half of the time it felt a little creepy.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess now that you said that, it makes me think that he's like supposed to purposely be kind of a nothing character, right?
Oh,
it's really
yeah.
it's really a focus on the mom and Cruella de Vil as main characters, and
Yeah.
he's just kind of like the guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which there is a weird moment at the end where it's like the two daughters and like, or when they're talking about Cruella de Vil, and they're like, "Yep, we dropped her off. Now she's gone, and she threw this ring at me." Blah blah blah, and they're all kind of laughing or whatever. And it's like, "See, us three women who are the stars of this movie saved you,
Yeah.
you random dude."
yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, that is true, because he was sort of... Because even, like, at the end, when, spoiler alert, after it seems like they're just going to see each other on holidays, and Dan Jaquette was making a joke that they have to meet each other in London, so they had to jump on the Concorde, and then suddenly America Lohan dramatically brings down a newspaper, and it's like, did you know the Concorde can get you here in half the time?
That was amazing.
It was
That
amazing.
made me think you'd seen the movie before.
Oh.
Nope. I just know fast plane.
But even in that scene, Beth, you're right. It was sort of like American Lohan was in that room alone, and she was like, well, after you left, we decided, like, the three of them
Yeah.
talk it out, like, we decided we don't want to lose you again. And then he comes in like, yeah, I also agree.
Yeah, I think he's lost.
Wow.
Wine Dad is lost. He doesn't really know what to do. He's kind of pursuing the thing that's in front of him more than acting for himself.
Like how he didn't pursue her 11 years ago
Right,
when she
yeah.
ran off to the
Yes.
airport
Okay,
with
she's-
or without their children. It's unclear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
what was he like in the bathroom? What was it?
Maybe he had to go to the bathroom because he had just gotten a hairdryer thrown in his head. So he's like, Jesus Christ! And had to, like, go check it out.
do you think that he would have gone to England had the kids not had the other child not been involved and Chessie not been there to try to
No, he
No.
didn't have that kind of drive.
No,
Yeah.
no way.
He would
So
have just found the next hot thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't have the drive to be like, I understand that a car is pulling up, but we could probably have time for a small kiss now, and then we'll see how we feel later.
Right.
Instead, he was like, well, she has a key, we're doomed. I'm like, how fucking fast can she get out of that car?
Well, and also, like, they're down in the wine cellar. It's not like Chessie's gonna be like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Nick, and then just goes down there, like, grabs a bottle. I just had the best sex of my life, and it was with the butler. Can you believe it?
That is what Chessie
That is actually probably what Chessie would do. Chessie's awesome.
Yeah, I'd be like, anyway, you two go at it. It's great. Live a little. And she'd like just throw a pack of condoms at him. Peace out.
And then grabs one of the many wine bottles from that one era that they got married.
Yeah.
And she's like, you don't need all these, right? Glug, 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 glug.
Chessie.
I love the idea of Chessie just like deliberately fucking with him all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anytime he's down in the dumps, she's like, oh, what's the just being like, that's why it did seem like she's like his sister.
Yeah.
Because their relationship very much felt like that. Like, she would like razz him.
Yeah.
You know?
And she openly disparaged and made fun of him to his child
Yeah.
in the very first scene where we meet her.
She's great.
She also is a really good cook.
Is she?
Yeah.
Is that established?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
she makes all the foods.
She does make all the
And
food, that's
they're
true.
great.
Yeah, that's why she's more than a nanny.
Yeah.
She's
I
also
mean,
a cook.
nannies would feed
I mean,
a
Mrs.
child.
Doubtfire cooked.
Well,
Sure.
that's hard evidence right there.
And Mrs. Doubtfire cooked?
That's hard evidence that that's what a nanny does.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sure. But Mrs. Doubtfire is explicitly hired to watch the kids and prepare some meals.
Ah.
Well, we don't know
yeah.
her situation. She was hired the same.
Jessie seems to me.
Jesse's underpaid, is all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And underappreciated.
We
Absolutely.
don't know that.
I
We
I
don't
mean,
know how
she
much she
lives
makes.
in that beautiful house. Like,
Does she?
Yeah, she has a room. She
Oh, I
said
have
somebody
to
was crying in my bathroom. Or
Oh,
not
that's right.
crying, but talking on
Yeah,
the
you're
phone.
right, right.
And
I have to say though, if she's really wealthy, she needs to get a better pair of khakis because those
Oh.
Okay.
costumers put her in.
It
the-
was
Okay.
it
Honestly,
was the
whatever.
worst pair of pants
It
I've
was
ever
literally the worst pair, even for the 90s.
Maybe that's how Jessie likes
Yeah.
to
No.
dress.
Maybe Jessie just enjoys that waistband and it's comfortable.
It just,
No.
It's not.
It's not comfortable. It's
no
not
way is a
flattering.
waistband that like hits like right under your bra strap.
Oh,
like,
God bless America. She is not a 90-year-old, okay? She is a woman.
Maybe.
She is feminine. She deserved to be dressed.
Maybe she just had abdominal surgery and needs to keep things tight, keep
She
them
needed-
contained.
She needed those plaid shorts that Lohan was wearing.
Oh
she
yeah,
had the
Molly
cutest
was
shorts.
obsessed with one of the Lohan's shorts.
They were so cute.
Sure, they were
They
dressed
just the
adorably.
most
They
perfect
were
shorts.
dressed adorably. These children, the
Oh.
child, I guess, as
Yeah.
two children.
I mean, she must have been on screen for like 80% of that movie, maybe 90%.
Oh man, that was
Sure.
hard work.
It's exhausting.
She does a good job.
She does do a
A
good job.
very passable British accent.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I was actually surprised. I thought it was gonna be like way worse.
Yeah.
And she switches between them at
Mid-sentence
some point.
sometimes.
So fluidly.
Pretty impressive.
And then there were times where I was like, whew, I'm glad I wouldn't have to do that. But she's playing both characters. So in every situation, she's always getting pranked.
Yeah.
So, you know, which as a fictitious character, who cares? But as an actor, having to go through that crap doesn't seem as fun to me.
To do.
I don't know, to have to jump in a lake or to have to
Oh, sure.
like just be covered in honey or chocolate sauce or whatever.
Well, she wasn't covered with honey or chocolate sauce. The
Well, then
other girls
those
were.
some actor was.
Some day player.
Those were
right?
humans.
That's right. And they had to sit down with their parents and be like, okay, so sign this form so we can dump a bunch of honey on your kid.
Ugh.
Come on, you want to be a star, right?
Yeah. You start. Come on.
Come on, sign it.
Come on.
Sign it.
Come on.
Sign it.
Come on.
Sign it. Sign it. Sign it.
That's how negotiations
That's
work.
how child actors work, right? Probably. Ugh.
Yeah.
Speaking of child actors,
Yep.
my MVP of the movie
Oh.
is Bugle Girl.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Played by Lisa Iverson. Lisa,
Ooh.
if you're out there, tweet at us. We
Please.
loved your bugle work.
Oh, so good.
Someone plays the bugle, and then because we had captions on it, says off-key bugling.
Which was
So it's
accurate
like
captioning.
overt, but also accurate.
Yeah.
But then this girl is just
Ooh.
like going savage at this bugle.
Full
Just
cheeks.
like, wow,
Full
like
cheeks.
into it.
So good.
Oh, she's going hardcore.
Pretty great.
Great, loved it.
Yep.
Are we diving into MVPs?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I have two.
We'll talk about it.
One, I don't have any else you guys know. It was I wrote down Vineyard Warehouse guy. There's this moment in the golf cart scene where Cruella de Vil and her one scene assistant are like pulling up, and like it's just clearly just an establishing shot of like Dennis Quaid. You see the golf cart come in, but there is a guy behind him with a clipboard. And he like is walking very briskly towards Dennis Quaid, and I swear to God, is like making a gesture as if to be like, "Hello, sir. There's some business we have to address." And he like goes for it, but it cuts away just before he can like actually complete that action. And I loved it. That was not necessary because clearly it was not in continuity because no one interrupts him and Cruella de Vil. Be like, "Excuse me, sir. There's a problem in the barrel maker or whatever the fuck a vineyard does." Anyway, he was
They
great.
make wine.
Yeah.
No, I understand what a vineyard. I meant like the mechanics of it. Do you craft the barrels yourself? Do you have coopers there? Do you have a cooper on site? That's my question. Vineyards, vineheads, wineheads.
Yeah.
Please tweet us hashtag Where Dat Coop.
Where'd that Coop? Mr. Coop.
What?
Who?
Hanging with
Mr.
Mr.
Cooper?
Cooper.
Special Agent Dale Cooper, Twin Peaks. Get some of that Twin
My
Peaks
friend
tweet.
Cooper from when I grew up.
Oh, great.
I also have a friend, Cooper.
Cooper, the
Favorite
restaurant pub in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Anyway, the second MVP. And
Chicken Coop. Oh.
what? Yes, absolutely.
Chicken Coop?
If you build a chicken coop, are you also a cooper?
Ooh.
No.
Oh, what
No?
if you live in a chicken?
Like Chessie probably does. Ooh. Chessie, get back to the coop. I'll ring my bell when I need you to pick up a baby.
Oh, yeah. Cruella de Vil
Oh, bell.
buys that bell to
Yeah.
ring at
Ooh.
Oh,
Jessie.
that was
Ooh.
like that
That was
makes you
ugly.
real mad at
You
her.
do not ring a bell at Jessie.
Oh my
that was,
God.
that was probably like of all the things they did to like make it clear, like you're not supposed to like her.
Yeah.
That they probably could have just done that one. You'd
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, fuck that lady.
Oh man, I worked at a coffee house and with this very cool woman, and
Jessie.
she what?
Was she the Chessie of the coffee?
She was the Chessie of the coffee shop, and this woman customer wanted to get her attention and like whistled
Ooh.
to her,
Ooh.
like whistled, and
Like a quick like
like a
Like- oh, like
yeah,
a full
like
like,
a-
like she's a dog.
multi-note,
Yes.
like a whole phrase, like a little.
my friend Amy was inspired to stop, spin around, and like lock eyes with the woman, say, "Arf, arf, I am not a dog," and left.
Ooh.
That's
great.
amazing.
Great.
And then did the woman go like, oh, and her monocle popped out.
Popped off, and her pearls just
It's
split.
flying
just
everywhere.
I
spontaneously
declare,
exploded.
footman, get in here and punish this low-class worker.
I just came in here for my frappe.
Frappuccino.
to live like the common people for once.
Did you know they make cake pops?
Who?
I'm just doing the
Oh, the lady is saying
He's
that.
so excited.
Oh, yeah. Footman, get me one of those spherical pops on a stick.
It's cake and a lolly.
It's street food, but it's still cake. I'm delighted. Also, I just met my twin sister. She's a uncouth American.
Ooh, a jazz CD.
What's this piece of paper on the bulletin board? I'm going to learn to play the guitar today.
I will bust my own dishes. What a thrill!
Anyway, Sammy the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Sammy the dog. This is the ultimate MVP of this movie.
I was going to say, mine is specifically the Sammy the dog facts.
Yes.
Played by Bob.
Oh.
Sammy the
by
dog,
Bob.
played by Bob, as we saw in the credits.
Yep.
So Sammy the dog is apparently the only person in that vineyard that truly cares about Aunt Hallie, because he immediately recognized this is not your daughter. This is an imposter. I'm trying to protect the family. Destroy it. Destroy the monster. Kill the homunculus. It is going to destroy us all. Sammy's great.
Yeah.
Sammy's great. Sammy's ignored in the beginning
Yep.
And in the middle, and mostly at the end.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I'm disappointed Sammy did not get a little more like hilarious physical comedy when he was brought to the hotel.
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah.
did jump through a,
Like a
Luggage
luggage
That was
cart.
pretty good. Right when he realized like the true master is in this elevator. I'm going to
Yeah.
run to the elevator.
Yeah. Oh, side MVP, the bellhop with the flowers
Yes.
in the hotel, who like almost gets run over by Wine Dad,
No, fashion mom, drunk fashion mom.
drunk fashion mom, who then does like a full 360
incredible.
spin, holds onto the flowers the whole time,
Yeah.
and then scurries off. Nailed it.
Why is he running with the flowers?
Great question.
What emergency
They're late.
is he running
someone
toward?
is
Flower emergency.
upset, and the only way she will talk to her husband again is if she has a beautiful bouquet of flowers.
Yeah.
Or possible alternate situation.
She's thirsty. No, I don't
She needs the water from the bottom of it.
She just ate a very hot pepper. She-
Wait, this is San Francisco. Do you think he's running to the restaurant where Pierce Brosnan is choking on the pepper
Oh.
shrimp?
yeah.
So he's the only one who does the Heimlich maneuver, but he just happens to be carrying the flowers.
Yeah.
And he would have gotten there in time
Yeah.
if drunk fashion mom. Oh, that's sad.
Pierce Brosnan died in this scenario.
I mean, I assume.
It could also be a Terminator sitch where he has a shotgun hidden in there.
Ooh.
Wow.
And busts it out to shoot a bunch of people. I don't
Okay,
know.
so let's consider this. Maybe up at the penthouse, there's a hostage situation unfolding that the public hasn't been told about yet.
Yeah.
The bellhop is actually a federal agent in disguise. There's a shotgun in the flowers.
Yep.
And then he almost runs into drunk fashion mom. He trips. The flowers fall into a larger vase of flowers so that the gun gets into the water. Gun is ruined. He doesn't know what he's going to do. The whole time that they're having this meet cute, she's agreeing to make the wedding dress for Cruella de Vil. There is a firefight happening at the top of this hotel that we never see. And then hilariously, at one point, he bursts into a hotel room, lands on a bed where Chessie and Martin are in the throes of passion
Whoa.
Oh
and
my
have a
gosh.
comedy moment of like, violence, because that's how it always happens in those violence movies.
Yeah.
But then Chessie says, "Get out of here," and she knocks him in.
Socks. Oh, or the terrorists come in and Chessie's like, "Let's do this," and cracks the knuckles, and then nude karates them to death.
Eastern Promises style.
Wow.
Gee.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, there were a lot of great movies happening in this pretty good movie.
I did enjoy the idea that you had that maybe this should be Sammy's story to tell.
Yeah, it's a horror movie from his
Yes,
situation.
it totally is. It totally
The
is.
body snatcher shows up.
Right?
No one believes him. Like, there's probably a scene where he's barking like crazy and they shut him in the bathroom
Oh,
or
yeah.
something to shut him up.
Yeah, there's.
Wine Dad probably kicks him out.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a scene where like Wine Dad is like just lounging, looking at like the wine numbers or whatever, and he's like up in his face, just like, arr, 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 like you have to listen to me.
Yeah.
And he's just like, Sammy, get out of here! I'm trying to do business.
Yeah, I'm trying to make the wine fall.
Sammy.
And then Sammy has to sit outside,
yeah.
and then peers up at the window.
Right.
There's evil twin peering down,
Yes, exactly.
knowing wink. Yeah.
Well, and then when Sammy finally gets a hold of a piece of paper, a pen, and a fax
Yes.
machine, and draws a picture of himself
Saying
saying
911.
911
Yeah.
and faxes it hunts down and faxes it to the real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Amazing.
I was hoping you guys.
He's a super secret agent.
I mean, I refuse to believe that fax came from her sister.
Yeah.
That fax
it's got
came
a
from the
drawing
doll.
of Sammy on it.
Yeah.
He marked it himself.
Because he understands, like, you know, he only somewhat understands human language, so he's like, dog is saying this. So he had to put a picture of dog on
And I
there.
bet the plan was not to bring him to the hotel, but then he jumped in the car anyway. They couldn't get better. All right,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
just bring Sammy
Oh,
along.
right. And then to play it cool, British Lohan was like, it's fine, I want the dog to come. And then
Yeah.
looked back at him and was just like, I will fucking cut your throat if you say anything.
Man.
Yeah.
I think I've now fictionalized at least half of the characters, turning behind them and threatening to murder another character.
I mean, there's a lot of duplicitousness going on.
There
in here.
is a lot of duplicitousness. It's too bad that Sammy didn't have a British romance.
Oh.
Like, why didn't drunk
With a French poodle.
or something?
Or
I mean, is that
Grandpa.
too typical?
Or grandpa?
Wait.
I mean,
what?
he's the
Oh, like not
character
romantic.
of the
Oh
British.
yeah, not like romantic, but like the grandpa's like, oh, you remind me of the dog I had as a little boy. That'd
Yeah,
be
that would
You
be
adorable.
saved me
movie.
from the Nazis.
That's a- you dragged me out of the house after the shelling.
You properly identified my body snatcher impersonator.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Also, actually, Grandpa probably was a spy because he sneakily leaned up on that phone booth when she was talking.
that was
Oh,
sneaky.
And then
yeah.
immediately was like, boom,
Gotcha.
I know who you are.
That's not what spies do, though.
Don't they?
Hey, boom,
They
gotcha.
don't boom gotcha.
Sometimes.
They just sneak around, sneaking.
Yeah, like they dress up as a bellhop.
I mean, if they're James Bourne, sure.
What?
James.
Okay, which one were you trying to say?
Jason Bourne.
All right.
Oh, I love James Bond. Oh my God, is there a Parent Trap where it's James Bond and Jason Bourne?
Yes.
But
Yes.
they swap places.
Yes.
They have to be MI6 and whatever he worked for.
I don't know.
I don't know, Dance Lady and
Dance
Oh.
lady.
Chris Cornell? No?
What?
What? Chris Cornell?
Chris. Shit. Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper!
Chris Cooper.
And
Anyway.
Julia Stiles, Dance
Yeah.
Lady.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh.
I was like, I don't remember any dancing in that movie.
Other than the
The-
martial arts.
That's right.
Which
Oh.
is choreographed.
The Dance
The
of Death.
dance.
Which is really good.
It is. I
The
remember.
fight scenes in
That's the one with the
James
pen,
Bourne's.
right?
Oh, yeah. there's
Doesn't he like
pen.
kill a dude with a pen?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've only seen the first one. No, have I seen the second one? There's like 8 of them now, right?
Yeah, the first 3 are kind of all the same.
Okay.
I remember I watched them when they came out. I was like, oh, these are good. This one's good. This one's good. And then I bought the box set
Yep.
and watched them over a couple weeks. I was like, oh, it's the same movie.
Oh, sure.
Over and over,
Yeah.
which is good. Hey, check it out. Tweet at us, Matt Damon.
Hey, yeah.
Oh.
Hashtag, it's
I
me,
heard-
Matt Damon. I don't know.
It's me, James Bourne.
If you know Channing Tatum,
Yeah,
if you wouldn't mind.
honestly, you're just a stepping stool to Che Tate's. Let's be
I
honest.
mean, let's.
Everything is really. That's the reason we even do this.
Like Matt
podcast.
Damon tweets us. Then Matt Damon is like, "Hey, Julia Stiles, I just tweeted this great podcast." And Julia Stiles is like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then Julia Stiles is like, "Hey, other actors who've been in dance movies.
Yeah,
Have you heard about this podcast?"
when they
too?"
have their dance meetup.
Yeah, exactly.
Dance/actor
And
meetup.
then he's like, I better step up to this
Podcast.
podcast.
In
Twitter
the
account.
streets.
Hashtag
Yeah.
send back to the podcast. Nailed
Great.
it. Molly, you said barfaroni at one point.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
What was that?
I did write that down, but I didn't write down the context. at
It
all.
was when Wine Dad and Fashion Mom were kissing, and it got a
Oh.
little too
It
sensual.
was so much.
She
Wait,
goes for
when?
like a neck kiss or something, and then hits
There's
his
like-
collar, and then
there's
comes
like
Fashion
this,
Mom was kissing.
They were
on the boat.
So at the very beginning, they have a nice tasteful kiss, which is from the back, so you don't like get a lot of like lips trying to find each other.
Yeah.
But then by the end, it's just all lips searching. They're just searching and sort of hitting for too long,
Yeah.
and then making a reattempt for no reason.
I thought you said barfaroni when Cruella de Vil was unbuttoning the Queen's shirt.
Oh, that was a barfaroni moment too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there were
she
double
likes his
barfaronis.
chest hair.
She specifically
Oh,
called it out. She's
yeah.
like, "You should wear your shirts like this."
Oh, one more button, and she's like massaging his chest. And
She is like really laying it on thick. Like, she is clearly nervous that she's not going to lock this down because she's literally like, you just met my parents. Let's go bang in the honeymoon suite while they just hang out downstairs.
Yeah, so weird. But you know what? Actually, in hindsight, if I remember once again that this is a movie for 11-year-old girls,
Yeah.
like that is kind of like an 11-year-old girl's idea of seductiveness, right? Of like,
Yeah.
undo a button.
Oh, sure.
I love seeing chest hair. Because who really is, I mean, I don't know. Maybe in the
Men are
days of
disgusting.
Tom
I mean-
Selleck. I don't know.
I'll double down on that.
Yeah, men are disgusting.
Okay.
Right?
But yeah, chest hair was like an in thing for a while.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just not with it.
I mean, you were never into Tom Selleck.
They don't have any chest hair on Friends, so I don't know.
That's-
Oh, he was on Friends.
He
Yeah.
was on Friends.
Wow.
He was probably shirtless on Friends.
Oh.
Or
Probably.
like David Hasselhoff. He's a famous chest-haired man.
Sean Connery, very hairy.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Back
is
in the
making
day.
me uncomfortable.
I don't know how hairy was
You
back
prefer
in...
your men smooth like a eel?
Oh, I wish that was the line. You should wear your shirt like this. I like seeing your smooth eel-like skin. And then she takes off her human mask and the dog is like, intruder, aliens have come. And then he faxes grandpa real quick. It's like, it's just like back in the war when the aliens and the Nazis teamed up to conquer humanity. That's a movie, right? That has to have been a
And
movie.
then Grandpa busts in with Will Smith and Men in Black
Yes,
4.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Mhm.
And they erase
The
Wine
dog's
Dad's
memory? Oh.
memory after they bag Cruella de Vil. I don't know.
Right, but then they're like, hold on, and then they recruit Jesse. It's like, you are a
Oh,
badass.
yeah.
You should be punching aliens with us.
Jesse in Black.
Hey.
Oh.
I don't get it.
Instead of Men in Black, Chessie
Do you
in
know the
Black.
movie Men in Black?
Yeah, but you're replacing the word men with Chessie, and that was like a moment.
Apparently.
Okay,
Well.
cool.
I mean, because she's not a man.
Yeah.
Well, no, because she'd be recruited.
Well, I just was thinking like maybe that was like a song, like Jessie in
Oh, like
Black
Chessie's
or something,
Girl.
or like
Oh, sure. I mean, that's probably a Will Smith song.
Jesse in Black.
Yeah.
I mean, he would do the soundtrack.
He would absolutely do the
I
soundtrack.
think he wishes he could only do soundtracks.
That's the only reason he does movies?
I think that's the only reason he does
He just-
movie.
He doesn't do the
money.
tie-ins anymore, though. He does, or the
doesn't?
tie-in music anymore.
That's too bad.
Oh, what if he did it? Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think of this, if he did it for this movie.
What, The Pursuit of Happiness?
What?
Rap.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be great. A cheerful rap. Anyway, we're going off the rails here.
Yeah.
Okay, I wrote down brave,
Oh,
the
sure.
word brave.
Oh, yeah. I know. Do you know what you're talking about?
It was something where, like, when Quaidster... Do you know what you're talking about? Never. When Quaidster was like, they had this weird back and forth where he's like, you don't have to be brave all the time, or something. I didn't really know what he
Yeah.
meant. And then he said it again
Yeah.
later
Yeah.
when she was like, you think we're just going to work all this out and have an intercontinental romance and blah, blah. Like, this was the moment where it's supposed to be like, they're going to get together. And
Yeah.
he's like, yes, and something about bravery again.
I feel like it was supposed to be proud, and then somebody was like, ooh, let's make it brave.
But what was
It's
her...
more ambiguous, and it's more flattering.
What was the bravery, though, specifically?
She was being brave enough not to be involved with him. I don't know how that makes sense, but I
Yeah.
believe that's what they were going for.
Okay. So she was being brave enough to not compromise her, like, internationally renowned fashion empire to be with this man that she was so mad at one point that she stole one child and went to England with, maybe.
I mean,
I guess I just wasn't clear what he was actually saying.
yeah, I
I
think...
don't think he understands adult relationships.
Oh, that's why he's best friends with his 11-year-old daughter. They specifically say that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're like best friends. And we go camping and ride horses and blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
He hasn't had a chance to emotionally mature like his wine has.
Oh.
That's why he matures wine, because he can't mature himself.
Oh.
it all makes sense
Yeah.
now.
Jesse in Black.
Great for Ralph.
Anyway, I didn't get it. Bad screenwriting. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Whoever
Yeah,
wrote
I
this,
really think
at
it
least
was-
wrote that part.
I feel like it was a rewrite. I bet somebody forced a rewrite. And they just preferred the word
You
brave.
think Quaid improved it?
No.
And they were just like, fuck it, whatever. He's the nothing
who
character.
cares?
It's just...
Oh, by the way, Dennis Quaid and Randy Quaid are brothers.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, nailed it. Nailed it. Did we learn if there's a third Parent Trap? Someone bet there was 3.
Oh, yeah, I did.
I did not look
I'll look it
that
up.
up.
I'll look it up right now. This Vamp. This Vamp.
Molly, you thought Dan had a 55% chance to ruin the movie for you.
Oh, yeah.
I guess, did he ruin the movie for you?
He didn't.
All right.
Ha-ha.
Are you sure I didn't? I didn't
That's-
feel very hard when we were
That's
watching it.
The Minority Report, then.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
45%.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I mean, I really felt like it would be entirely possible to like totally hate every minute of the movie
Sure.
and to be commenting to that effect. But I felt like even though the points of joy you found were not like intentional in the movie, they were still joyful.
what are you talking about?
Well, you may have enjoyed parts of the movie. I'm not sure. You seem to enjoy yourself watching it,
Sure.
so that's
I
good.
feel
enough
like
for
I
me.
enjoyed parts that you were supposed to enjoy. Right? I don't know. I enjoyed.
The things that I thought you were going to enjoy
Oh, okay.
were
Great.
the scene where the lizard crawled into his mouth, or her mouth, because it's absurd.
I mean, that was ridiculous.
and
Enjoyed?
specifically the butler. And I
Oh.
feel like you did get a lot of joy out of the
I
butler.
really enjoyed
Yeah,
the Butler.
that's true.
I really enjoyed the
So,
Butler.
nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed
So Beth got my bet.
it. Cool. Well, while Dan's looking that up,
Uh-huh.
and before we get to our final Armada Camp ratings, we like to read a review of our podcast by the listeners, and we have one. Thank you.
Yay!
Please leave a review for us on iTunes or somewhere else, and tell us about it, and then we'll read it in the impression of a character from the movie.
Ooh.
If anybody's feeling inspired.
Can I do one twin and then request that Molly does the
Yes.
British
Oh.
twin?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But how is it?
It's not that long.
Okay. Super Funny by Lisa MJR from USA.
Ooh.
Love this
Same.
podcast. Always look forward to it every month. I particularly like it when they do movies from the 90s and the early 2000s.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. All right. The Bring It On episode was a highlight. Keep up the awesome work. View in browser.
Was that just a supplemental part of the... Is that a button? You just read a button? Or a hyperlink? Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what happens.
See, in England, you don't have buttons or hyperlinks on the internet. There's just a little picture of a butler, and then you ask Jeeves to do something for you. Ask Jeeves is still thriving on the British
Right,
internet.
right. Well, thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you so
And
much.
Jack from USA.
Thank you so much.
If you want to have your review read, leave it.
Yeah. On iTunes?
That's the last one we have, so like get on it now, and
Yeah.
it'll happen almost immediately.
we hope. Yeah.
Any news on the third
Okay, so
paratrap?
there was the original one from 1961.
Oh, Beth already knew that. Go on.
smart.
And then they made a bunch of TV sequels.
Oh.
Disney did Parent Trap 2, Parent Trap 3, Parent Trap Hawaiian Honeymoon.
Oh,
So are these all different twins? Great question. I'm not going to look into it.
Or
Look
do
it up
they-
yourself.
Do they keep getting divorced and then
no.
remarried at the end? Like, no, this is really
This
not
time
working.
it's going to stick.
They're really trying
This
to
time
get
it's
them
going
back
to...
together.
So the Hawaiian Honeymoon
Like,
is...
really, we don't think it's a good idea. Like, we've tried it. They're like, no, you're parent trapped. You have to do it.
The Hawaiian Honeymoon one, they were like 25 years old, and they're just like, hey guys, I'm getting married. And they're like, freaking whatever. Yeah, and then they...
Oh, wink. Wink.
Oh, sorry. That was more for their benefit. La Lohan's great at winking if you look at the cover art of most of her later films.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
they remade it in 1998, and then apparently there have been, I'm just now in a wiki hole, there have been several films in India based off The Parent Trap. That's
Oh,
fun.
Wow.
Great.
So, sort of,
But in terms
not
of the
really.
movie, there have been two.
There's just been two, I guess.
The 1961 and this one.
Yes.
Yeah, great.
As far as American audiences are presumed.
Pardon?
I mean, there's been Indian
I mean,
versions.
USA
Oh, sure.
number
USA
one.
number
USA
one.
number one. Anyway, Molly, you gave it 4 Armada camps,
Oh.
betting it would be delightful and simple and some other things.
Yes. I will give it 4 Armada camps plus a really cute pair of green shorts.
Right.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, you captained a ship to Coward Island.
Yeah, I did.
Gave it a 3.
All right. I'm going to take that ship. I'm going to bring it back to harbor. I'm going to have 2 great servants present a meal, and then probably have a tryst in the kitchen. And the name of that harbor is Four Armada Camps.
Oh,
Yay!
wow.
It was charming, and everyone did a good job, and it was, like you said, very simple, but in a pleasant way.
Yay!
Good job.
Yeah.
Although I still have a lot of problems with just the general behavior of the two main adults in the
The
movie.
logistics of the
Just their whole situation. But it was counteracted by the two other main adults in the movie who were awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Beth, 2.5.
Yeah.
You were starting
So
low.
the last time I saw it, I think I was kind of bored by it because it is a kids movie. It's for 11-year-old girls. But watching it this time and adding in a bit more backstory to each of the characters and filling it out a bit more, I thought it was super fun. So I would say 4.
Yay!
Armada
Camps.
Camps.
Were you going to say gyms?
I was gonna say planes.
Oh.
Crime
Yes.
Crime
Crime
Planes.
Planes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic rating scale.
Yep.
I
Driven
gave it-
by James Bourne.
I gave it 3 because I thought maybe Molly had a point. Couldn't be that bad. I'm sticking with 3. Which is still like a decent rating.
Yeah, Jesus, you even said it was pretty good.
Yeah, but it's this movie's not for me,
Yeah.
and so I think if I hadn't been able to like aggressively riff on the movie while watching it, I would have been real bored.
Yeah.
You would have given it 2.5, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe like 1.5. Just because like I don't know, Lohan does a good job
Yeah.
for a child actor.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not like great, but it's like for a child actor, great, good job. But I still was like, not that great.
Molly is seething on the
I
inside.
am stunned.
And yeah, the some of the dynamics were weird and
Okay,
uncomfortable.
well, that was good. That was great. Okay, well, great podcast, everybody. That was terrific.
All right, I
Let's
guess my
just-
opinion doesn't matter.
No, I mean, it's fine. I mean, you are the Martin, right? I mean, you are the Martin of
yeah,
this podcast.
right. I am Molly's servant.
You ask us when we come over, you ask us if we'd like a drink, and then we say we'd like a drink, and then you bring us a drink.
And
So,
some of us say no.
Yep.
Some of us take 2 drinks, thank you.
Jesus,
Oh, geez, now I feel bad.
you're the Meredith
Go ahead
of
and-
drinks.
I am not.
You are. You're just in it for the drinks.
You
You're just in it for the drinks.
You hush your
About
mouth.
a million drink reasons.
That's right.
So 3.
Yeah, do you need an avion? Is that what
Ah.
that says?
Oh yeah.
She drank an Avion, then a lizard got her.
Yep.
Oh.
Anyway, 3 Armada Camps. I enjoyed it, but it's not for me. Go watch it if you're an 11-year-old.
Great point. 3.5 Armada camps.
All,
Shut your face.
to all
No,
of our,
it's already been written down. He gave it 4.
Uh-huh.
We're staying with 4.
yeah,
Right.
it's in the permanent record.
It's
Okay,
done.
fine.
The permanent Totes record.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name of our show. I get it. The Permanent Totes Recollection.
Oh, the recollection log.
Oh, boy.
Oh, this is not.
Jesse in Black.
Here comes Jesse in Black.
I wish
Banging butlers, punching aliens. Bow, 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 bow.
I wish that I was Jesse in Black.
What? Oh, Jesse's Girl? Is that a Jesse's Girl reference? Wait, what was that stupid song that was in the credits that was stuck in her the whole time? For like
Oh,
10
it's
minutes.
so good.
I don't know.
Oh, you already
I remember
forgot it.
now.
It wasn't
I
good.
don't remember.
This is
I've
the
already forgotten it. That's amazing.
We were all singing
Yeah.
it.
Okay, literally, the only way we can end this podcast is if we think about the
Every
song.
love is.
Everlasting love. Yeah, was it everlasting love? Ever this could be an everlasting
Oh, that's
love.
right. This could be.
Be.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.